Hello, 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 hello. Can anybody hear me? Uh, मेरा दिख रहा है क्या कुछ? It's like teaching computer to my नानी. हाँ भाई, मैं मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग किया हूँ दक्ष भाई. कंप्यूटर साइंस नहीं पढ़ा हूँ मैं. हाँ, मैं रैशफोर्ड के लिए लड़ूंगा, क्यों नहीं. um, अरे मैं क्या लाइव हूँ क्या? अरे एक सेकंड यार, क्या लाइव हूँ? अरे हाँ यार, बहुत कूल. You guys are very cool. I'm very lame. मैं लाइव हूँ क्या? नहीं, ये तो बोलो. अच्छा, वॉल्यूम कैसे बढ़ाते हैं? Wait, wait, wait. Let's just increase the volume. अरे दक्ष भाई, आप मेरे को क्रिटिसाइज ही कर रहे हो कंटिन्यूअसली. आप बोलो मेरे को वॉल्यूम कैसे बढ़ाते हैं. वेरी लेट. वॉल्यूम ठीक है. अच्छा, दक्ष भाई प्रॉब्लम, राइट? सो या, we'll start right now. Sorry for the sorry for the shenanigans, but it was all because of this reason. हाँ, ऑल्ट F4 से वॉल्यूम इंक्रीजेस. वेरी नाइस दक्ष भाई. इसमें बट दिखता कहाँ पे है कितने जन ज्वाइन किए हैं? 3 जन ज्वाइन किए. अच्छा, दिख गया. अच्छा, उनीक इज गोइंग टू जॉइन अस प्रोबेबली. लेट मी जस्ट सी वेयर ही इज. वॉल्यूम ठीक है. अच्छा, ठीक है. दिस विल बी अ टेस्ट स्ट्रीम फॉर एवरीबॉडी बाय द वे. सब लोग, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस टू शाका. अबे उनीक, तू ज्वाइन करेगा भाई? मैं तेरे को डिस्कॉर्ड में यूआरएल भेज रहा हूँ. फिर थोड़ा 5 मिनट ले रहे हैं हम लोग. ये पहले ठीक कर देते हैं. देन एक बार ये अच्छे से सीख जाऊंगा तो स्मूथली हो जाएगा. ठीक है, मैं तेरे को ये भेज दिया लिंक. हेलो, हेलो लकी रेड्स. हेलो मासन भाई. तुम कौन? तुम क्यों आए हो शांतनु? हेलो शांतनु. Hello, Lucky Red Second said, hi, Rishi bhai, GGMU. I'm doing well, bro. Not doing well after the unfortunate news came around. Jokes aside, Control W can increase volume. अच्छा, Control W या Mac में Command W? मैं Mac भी नया यूज कर रहा हूँ by the way. कुछ बड़ा वॉल्यूम क्या? uh, A for Arsenal. बड़ा क्या वॉल्यूम? कमांड W. अच्छा, कमांड W से लीव साइड दिखा रहा है. फक, सॉरी. अच्छा, ठीक है, ठीक है. कुछ नहीं करूंगा, ठीक है. हेलो ऋषि भाई, YNWA. यू विल ऑलवेज वॉक अलोन. ठीक है, वॉल्यूम चलो. इट्स दक्ष भाई प्रॉब्लम ओनली. टिपिकल आर्सेनल प्रॉब्लम. अयान बोल. शांतनु इज सेइंग, अयान ये थोड़ा ज्यादा टेक हो जाएगा उनके लिए आज. हाँ भाई, क्या करें. मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग, लाइक आई सेड, नॉट कंप्यूटर साइंस. Lucky Red says, ठीक है boys bro, I'll take that as a cool. He fell for it. अच्छे आदमी का मजाक उड़ाओ तुम लोग. It's good. Me and Daksh bhai ain't a managing mod. I think you guys are. Mazen bhai says, Umesh Ahuja, ha 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 ha. So, let me just check if I can present my screen. Yeah, I can. So actually, let me just open up the Ballon d'Or list 2023 ka. Uh, what we're gonna talk about. Unik bhai ka message. Unik, what are you doing, bro? Jaldi join kar. We need your specific data points around all these discussions, right? अबे कहाँ है भाई? कोई ट्विटर खोलना पड़ेगा क्या? गलत नोटिफिकेशंस आते हैं ट्विटर पे। अरे मेरे को कोई लिंक शेयर कर दो ना कमेंट में प्लीज, बैलन डोर लिस्ट का। अयान, कैन यू डू दैट? अंकुश भाई कहाँ? अंकुश भाई बिजी होंगे शायद मीटिंग्स में एंड ऑल, सो आई डोंट रियली नो क्या है। पृथ्वीराज छिंडे 1 मिनट, हाँ ठीक है, कम। गुड मॉर्निंग अनिर्बान सेज, गुड मॉर्निंग टू यू ब्रो। एड अयान, अच्छा, आई डोंट थिंक वी कैन शेयर इट टू यू। अरे कमेंट कर दो ना, ये आ गया तो कमेंट इसका, बट इसमें स्ट्रीमर को ही इतनी मेहनत करनी पड़ती है खुद, अरे यार, पीपल लव मी। क्या करे? अरे प्लीज मेरे को डिस्कॉर्ड पे सेंड करना शांतनु भाई, यहाँ से नहीं खुल, यहाँ से कैसे कॉपी करते हैं भाई? ये तो शो वो दिखा रहा है मेरे को। उनिक भाई आ रहे हैं, हाँ उनिक भाई इज कमिंग, ही इज द मोस्ट लेजेंडरी मेंबर ऑफ आवर चैनल सो फार। मेंबर तो नहीं, अभी मेंबरशिप नहीं है कोई। ही इज द मोस्ट लेजेंडरी कमेंटर फ्रॉम लास्ट टाइम। ही इज एक्चुअली अ नानी। हाँ भाई, एक्चुअली अ नानी हूँ मैं। रुको रुको, मैं खुद ही खोल लेता हूँ। डिस्कॉर्ड पे कोई भेजा क्या? अरे यार तुम लोग डिस्कॉर्ड पे क्यों नहीं भेज रहे हो? हाँ ये आ गया शांतनु का। थैंक यू शांतनु, यू आर अ लेजेंड। मैं, अच्छा उनीक इज हियर बाय द वे, at the stage. Yeah, hi Unik. Welcome to the warehouse.
आवाज
We
आ रहा है
met
क्या मेरा?
yesterday
हेलो।
and you're already a YouTuber. I think I can hear you.
पता नहीं मेरा सब
Uh,
एकदम रात के 2 बजे का सेटअप है भाई।
हाँ, सात सात जन देख रहे हैं हमें. How's this like legendary feeling?
क्या अभी
How's the feeling inside you? कुछ
सैका है।
gratitude दिखाओ.
ग्रेटिट्यूड क्या, अभी मैं तो आर्सेनल की जर्सी ले रहा हूँ भाई।
Oh yeah, man. I mean, we all have to buy that like Highbury kit. वो जो यहाँ पे बीच में है ना Highbury लिखा हुआ, रेड कलर का, गोल्ड
नहीं
में से
नहीं नहीं नहीं।
Highbury.
अब मैं थियरी ऑन दे की किट लेके उसको मार्कर से काट के सैका लिखूंगा उस
हाँ भाई, साका 7 पहनता है ना आर्सेनल के लिए.
रे जो भी नंबर पहने, अभी सैका का नाम गोल्डन होगा, सैका के लिए स्पेशल जर्सी अभी।
14 डिवाइडेड बाई 2 कर देना ना वहां पे, इसे नीचे 7.
हाँ।
लो वॉल्यूम उनीक, वॉल्यूम थोड़ा इंक्रीज कर ले भाई, थोड़ा फिगर आउट करके. आई थिंक तू भी इंजीनियर ही होगा इंडिया में. डिस्कॉर्ड पे टैग किया है क्या? क्या बोल रहे हैं, ऐसा बोलो ना. अच्छा he's, अच्छा यहाँ से स्टार्ट करते हैं. He's actually a nani, yes I am nani from Portugal. Hello hello says Ebin bhai, hello to you too. Shantanu says ऐसा बोलो ना, crying emoji. क्या बोलो ना भाई ऐसा. थैंक यू फॉर द डिस्कॉर्ड मैसेज, डिस्कॉर्ड पे टैग किया है. अच्छा, मैंने भी भेजा था. इज सेइंग ऐड अगेन से शांतनु, ओके. लो वॉल्यूम यूनिक, अच्छा वॉल्यूम तो यू आर एड्रेसिंग. अनिर्बान सेज a lot of things. आवाज नहीं आ रही. So this is the guy who defends United. And I will defend it with all my life. Shantanu
भाई
says, "Let's cook." So let's now start. Okay, our discussion. I'll just present my screen first of all. Uh, ये तेरे को दिख रही है क्या? फैब्रिजियो रोमानो की गेस द बैलोन डियोर टॉप 3. ये तो गलत वाला इमेज खुल गया,
गेस क्या
सॉरी.
करना है, विनर बता उसको। गेस
सो
तू करो ना, विनर
हाँ,
हमको
सो मेंस में मेरे को दिख रहा है कि देयर इज जूलियन एल्वारेस, निको बरेला, जूड बेलिंगम, करीम बेंजेमा. सो दीज 4 प्लेयर्स ने कुछ तो उखाड़ा है, मतलब टू बी हियर, राइट? एंड आई एग्री टू द फैक्ट दैट यस जूलियन एल्वारेस ट्रेबल विनर है, निकोलो बरेला ने चैंपियंस लीग फाइनल खेला है, वो लीग में हगा है बट स्टिल ही हैज प्लेड द चैंपियंस लीग फाइनल. जूड बेलिंगम भी बहुत कुछ उखाड़ा है रियल मैड्रिड में, और लास्ट ईयर भी he was probably one of the best Dortmund players. He was in fact the best Dortmund player. अभी करीम बेंजेमा ने भी उखाड़ा है ऑब्वियसली, वो भी बहुत सारे गोल्स मारा है. नाउ ही प्लेज फॉर Saudi Arabian club, but that's fine. Yasin Bono also had a very good World Cup. Kevin De Bruyne, treble winner. Ruben Diaz, treble winner. Antonio Griezmann, Unik. What are your thoughts around Antonio Griezmann last season?
Like he has been really underrated, I think, last season. Like everyone has sort of ignored
थोड़ा
Atletico, I think.
अच्छा, थोड़ा थोड़ा तेरा वॉइस ना थोड़ा सा क्रैकल क्रैकल हो रहा है. तो
Just a minute.
तेरा तेरा स्पीकर. सो Unik might have watched Atletico Madrid matches, but मैं तो उतना नहीं देखा हूँ, तो मेरे को नहीं मालूम होगा. Also, I would request everyone to like hold on for 2 seconds. Where is my iPad? It's not in this room, so I can't really watch a preview of myself, but that's fine. um, एंटोनियो ग्रीजमैन वो वर्ल्ड कप में तो सही था. एज पर माय ओपिनियन फ्रांस बहुत दूर गई थी वर्ल्ड कप में. ऑल्सो हिज एथलेटिको numbers according to Unik have been decent. Unik, are you back, bro?
Hello?
Unik, are you
Is the
back?
audio okay now?
um अरे मेरे को खुद की वॉइस क्यों आ रही है?
Hello? Hello?
I can hear myself actually.
कोर्स मिलता
This
है क्या
is
भाई स्ट्रीम यार्ड का?
I don't know, bro.
नहीं, anyways, like I think, like if you can hear me, all right.
Yeah, you can see, you can cut it. अरे यार तेरे को म्यूट करना पड़ेगा, तू बोल ले.
I mean,
So you speak, I mute. I speak, you mute.
yeah.
Okay, you speak.
Like मैंने भी उतना एथलेटिको नहीं देखा है. Like almost everyone has ignored Atletico. I don't know why nobody cares about that club anymore. But I guess like you can understand why Griezmann is there. Like these people, like some of the, like glory uh, lovers of football like to say that Messi is there in the list because he's Messi and doesn't matter how old he is, doesn't matter this that. If he gets an honorary award every year, he'll get nominated every year. Same for Ronaldo, I guess. And I can sort of understand that for Griezmann and Benzema. They've been in the World Cup squad. They've won the World Cup. He is a prominent figure in their squad. So you can understand people like Griezmann, Gundogan, Haaland, Benzema. Like Haaland, to obviously like he is a no-brainer. But at least Gundogan ka bhi decision, I think you can understand these people coming in the list, right? But there are some legends that have now been identified by the selector panel that is there on the Ballon d'Or like selection committee, and they have like found some real gems that were hidden like 15 feet under the ground, and they have pulled them up like beautiful. They're farmers basically. उगा रहे हैं हम यहाँ पे लेजेंड्स बैठ के. एंड ठीक है, तुम कितने रीजंस बनाओगे, राइट? अपन एक हम लोग एक प्लेयर का नाम लेंगे, चलो एल्वारेज को क्यों डालें, अरे उसने तो ट्रेबल जीता है. चलो बरेला को क्यों डालें, अरे ही वॉज वेरी टॉक्ड अबाउट लास्ट ईयर. अरे बेलिंगम को क्यों डालें, अरे ही इज द गोल्डन बॉय. तो हर एक आदमी के लिए अलग रीज़न है, तो होगा इनका एक कुछ कुछ जेम्स के लिए भी रीज़न. तो बेसिकली जिसने फुटेज खाया है पिछले साल उसको डाल दो, किसी एक को जिता देंगे जिसको सबसे कम ऑब्जेक्शन मिलेगा. ऑब्वियसली मेसी एंड हार्लैंड अभी इस साल लीस्ट ऑब्जेक्शनेबल विनर्स है, तो उनमें से कोई जीत जाएगा. इट्स नॉट इवन फनी, लाइक इट्स नॉट इवन इंटरेस्टिंग एनी मोर. इट्स दिस इज लाइक द एथलेटिको मैड्रिड ऑफ अवार्ड्स राइट नाउ. नो बडी केयर्स.
Actually, to be honest, अच्छा यूनिक, हाँ, नाउ आई कैन हियर माई सेल्फ ओनली. एक्चुअली टू बी ऑनेस्ट, अगर देखोगे ना, द थिंग विथ most of these nominations, now the ones that pop out in my opinion, I'll go through them. um Randall Kolomuani is one that really like hurts my eyes. Kavicha Kvaratskhelia, उनिक तेरे को लगता है क्या he deserves to be here? मतलब उसके हाईलाइट रील्स तो हम लोग देखे हैं, बहुत मस्त है. मतलब he deserves to be a 150 million pound player according to a lot of people on the internet. But can you justify Kvaratskhelia मतलब हाईलाइट रील्स का मतलब का मतलब उतना मतलब पोजेशनल क्वालिटी ऑन द इंटरनेट की वो बैलन डोर के लिस्ट में इन इज लाइक फर्स्ट सीजन आउट ऑफ द जॉर्जियन लीग आ गया है.
Like, you have to have some people who don't look like they are going to win, but they need recognition, right? So it's a list of one of the best people in Europe last year. So I can understand he's like the kingmaker in Napoli. उसने ऑजिमेन को ऑजिमेन बनाया ऐसा मेरे को लगता है पिछले साल. अगर वो नहीं होता तो I don't think ऑजिमेन would be as talked about right now. He has had okay seasons before in different leagues, but he's never been the striker that everyone wants, and he's like the gold standard for number 9 suddenly. But क्वारात्स्केलिया हैज़ बीन दैट किंग मेकर फॉर मी. उसके पीछे मिडफील्ड भी अच्छी थी नेपोली की बहुत. Osimhen has delivered because he has good people around him, and now we know that he can deliver with good people around him. So good teams want him. ऐसा नहीं है कि like new teams with a lot of money are suddenly looking for Osimhen. They know they need a setup behind him. So I can see why Kvaratskhelia is there. He represents kind of the backbone of Napoli that made Osimhen who Osimhen is, and he's उसकी highlights हैं तो उसको रखा है. And I can like ठीक है मुझे even you know everybody knows he's not gonna win, but at least now people know who he is. His name is out there now, so I can understand why he's there in the list kind of. But again, it depends on who is going to win, right? Who, it depends on who they want to win, what kind of a person wins the Ballon d'Or. If the 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 time you define this is the time you know who's going to win. Is it the best player? Is it the greatest player? Is it the most significant player? Is it the most improved player? Is it the most costly player? डेफिनेशन बदलोगे तो विनर बदलेगा. विनर तो नहीं बदलेगा वैसे, हालैंड ही जीतने वाला है. देखते हैं, मेसी को जिता दिया तो फिर से एक बार स्ट्रीम करना पड़ेगा तुमको.
मेरे को तो पर्सनली लगता है कि मेसी जीतेगा, लाइक आई सेड इन द लास्ट स्ट्रीम, बिकॉज ऑफ हिज लाइक, क्योंकि इसके बाद तो मेसी को जस्टिफाइबली नहीं जिता सकते. मतलब नाउ दैट वी नो द सिस्टम इज कंप्लीटली रिग्ड, क्या फर्क पड़ता है हालैंड को क्यों दे. मतलब इट्स हिज लास्ट अटेम्प्ट टू विन द बैलन डोर, वो लास्ट मतलब कुछ उखाड़ा है जिंदगी में, सो दे देते हैं वर्ल्ड कप, मतलब सॉरी बैलन डोर. बट I honestly believe that he should win also. I'll just address a few comments before we like happen on to the next
Yeah.
section. So Shantanu says Anirban cook. अच्छा cool. जूम इन करो. अच्छा जूम इन करो. अबे यार तू जूम इन खुद कर ले भाई, फोन में आजकल यूट्यूब में हो जाता है. सो ओके नाउ ही सेज जूम करो थोड़ा ही सही. अबे फोन में मत देख भाई, लैपटॉप में देख. वेयर इज माय बॉय मार्कस, अनिर्बान सेज विल कम टू दैट वेरी सून. शांतनु सेज एबिन जोसेफ आपका यूट्यूब चैनल कब, क्वेश्चन मार्क. हाँ कब एबिन भाई, फॉर्मूला वन स्ट्रीम्स कमिंग फ्रॉम यू आई होप. करीम बेंजेमा क्यों नहीं है यहाँ. Karim Benzema tha, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he's there, he's there.
Yeah, he's there. Uh, Evan says, Shantanu, I don't want A for Arsenal to lose his audience. Acha, cool. A for Evan Joseph says he thinks he's him. Acha. Cooked Evan Bhai, and Irwan says, what's going on here? Ankush Bhai will discuss very interesting things in about 2 to 3 minutes. United bashing, Anirban says. Evan says, Mazen says, Evan Joseph, high five. Acha, cool. Background noise है Unik भाई. हाँ वो he will address it. So bear with us right now. We are both very much amateurs. This is my second stream, and this is Unik bhai's first guest appearance on the stream. Uh, and it'll be like one of many, I'm sure. Mazen bhai says कि Ankush fog. हाँ, I think this is an answer to क्या चल रहा है वाला comment. Shantanu says Griezmann has a very good had a very good season at Atletico last year, probably most underrated player last season, along with Cruz. Unik, you want to say something?
Yeah, I've not watched every single Atletico game, but I have some friends who follow the league like pretty religiously, and they've been shouting his name in my ear for the past 3 months. Like, अरे तुम लोग को ये बेलिंगम के पीछे भाग रहे हो, तुमने ग्रीजमैन का सीजन नहीं देखा है, and you like I honestly didn't care about Atletico like last year. They I don't know, I just never really get attracted to their matches. Like ऐसा कभी नहीं होता है कि यार एथलेटिको का मैच है चलो बैठ के देखते हैं. ऐसा तो कभी, एक तो उसका प्ले स्टाइल गंदा है, मेरे को उसका प्ले स्टाइल नहीं पसंद है भाई. तो मैं ऐसे मैचेस देखता भी नहीं हूँ जल्दी बैठ के. बट a lot of my friends who like are Real Madrid fans have themselves said कि भाई इसको बारसा ने छोड़ के गलती किया है, इट्स गुड ही इज गॉन बैक होम नाउ, ऐसा बहुत बार सुना है मैंने. तो these people have been talked about, so I understand them being in the list. Even कोलो मुआनी चलो मान लेता हूँ भाई, ठीक है, 10 बार उसका ट्विटर पोस्ट देखा है मैंने, चलेगा, उसको ले लो लिस्ट में. तो
आफ्टर
आवाज नहीं आ
आई
रहा.
तू एक बार देख कि कोलोमुआनी कितना गोल मारा है. विल कम टू दिस आफ्टर while while
जस्ट
whilst uh whilst I talk about a few important things that I'd want to say about Antonio Griezmann. Now, for me, Antonio Griezmann, ever since the 2014 World Cup, has been a really underrated player, like under the radar kind of player. बट वो बहुत अच्छा खेला है. हिज सीजन्स एट बार्सिलोना वर वेरी मतलब वेरी गुड. ही प्लेड अक्रॉस मतलब पोजीशंस वेरी एफिशिएंटली. वो रियल सोसिएडाड में था शायद बिफोर ही वेंट टू एथलेटिको, व्हिच वाज आल्सो important like move for his career, and at Atletico he did a pretty good job as well, and now also according to you he's doing a very good job. So Griezmann का मैं एक मोमेंट मान भी लेता हूँ कि his presence over here is justified. I'll just zoom into it a little bit. Let me just check it on StreamYard. हाँ ठीक है, अभी zoomed in है थोड़ा सा. इकाई गुंडोवान, जॉस्को ग्वार्डियोल, अर्लिंग हालैंड, हैरी केन, definitely make it to the list. But the one name that stands out amongst this like chunk of 4 or 5 players is Josko Guardiol. Now, Unik, I would want to discuss this with you. Vasco Guardiol, does he deserve to be here or does he not deserve to be here? First, I'll like put forward my point and then we'll come to you. Josko Guardiol for me, भाई लाइप्जिग में अनकुंकू बहुत गोल मारा. आई कैन स्टिल मतलब ही वाज द बुंडेसलीगा टॉप स्कोरर इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, राइट? अनकुंकू वाज आई थिंक
Yeah,
अनकुंकू
I
वाज.
think he was. Yeah.
Hmm. So Nkunku was the top scorer. So him being present here like would make sense. But Josko Guardiola, is there like a? I want to understand this process of selection. Is there like a fixed quota for like defenders, midfielders, and forwards in order for them to get selected on this list?
Like, even if there is, like, let's say there is a number of set amount of players from each position they need to have in the list, right? What makes Guardiola the best they could come out, that they could come up from Germany? Like, I don't understand if why like Guardiola was the best defender in Germany last year, even if they had to choose one defender from Germany. Like, why does it have to be Guardiola? Like, okay, I don't know, but why he should be there? I can understand Kim Min Jae at least from Italy. He has been good. His stats have been good. I have been following him because my club was linked with him. He's fast. He is a person that can fit into the new kind of football that people play right now. You need fast center backs who can track those runners. Okay, he won the league. He has good, like, he wins tackles, he wins duels. But I have not followed Guardiola enough, and frankly, he's not been as discussed as someone like, let's say, who's there in the list? Someone like Rodri, let's say.
Hmm.
Rodri has been one of the most discussed players in England, even though he's like surrounded by some of the best players in England. Still, he manages to somehow come out and shine. So I can understand people like them, and obviously they have the stats to back themselves. But we are not talking about stats right now. Stats होता तो इनमें से 60% लोग तो day one पे ही बाहर निकाल देते. So we just have to understand why they are in the list. Stats हो कुछ भी हो. Like this Kolo Muani guy got absolutely destroyed by Jamal Musiala. Literally a youngster who's been like, he's not even set in the league. And he got destroyed by him. And he's in this list. So I don't understand why Kolo Muani is in the list.
अबे यार वार्डियोल को अबे यार वार्डियोल को देने के पहले भाई वो फ्राइबर्ग का कोई सेंटर बैक को दे देते, उन लोग 13 क्लीन शीट रखे हैं मतलब बुंडेसलीगा में लास्ट सीजन, अकॉर्डिंग टू द रिसर्च दैट आई डिड।
It's not about stats. I'm telling you, if it was about stats, then DDJ has to be there in the Yashin list. He has the golden glove from England. He was the most he was theoretically the most efficient keeper in England last year. आंखों से दिखा नहीं दिखा, that's a whole different argument. But if you look 100% on what's written on the paper, he's the best keeper in England last year. तो उसको शर्म के मारे तो भी उसको एटलीस्ट लिस्ट में रखना चाहिए था कि ठीक है भाई गंदा प्लेयर है बट स्टैट्स है तो रख लो ऐसा.
But देखो Unik, what happened last year was Ronaldo also played for us. Okay, he scored like 26 or 27, 28, 27 or 28 goals if I'm not wrong last season, right? But उसको भी लिस्ट में रखे थे just because he was like the third highest goal scorer in the league and मतलब he is Cristiano Ronaldo, तो उसको लिस्ट में रहना पड़ेगा. मेसी को नहीं रखे थे by the way, but रोनाल्डो को रखे थे because he had a pretty good season at United. Abhi, he did not obviously deserve the Ballon d'Or. Nobody will be preposterous enough to even state the fact that he deserved to be there last season. मतलब even in the top 5 or the top 10, but he came 20th. वो list में at least था, right? So why not DDG? So the thing that you have said is absolutely true. Ki DDG has won the Golden Glove. He has been the most efficient goalkeeper, but that's also down to what our defenders have also done right last season. But वो भी नहीं है लिस्ट में, या फिर पीएफए वाले लिस्ट में भी हम लोग नहीं है. जस्ट अभी लोग बोल सकते हैं कि हम लोग 7-0 हारे हैं लिवरपूल में, वी हैव बीन थ्रैश्ड 6-3, बट वार्डियोल भी तो 7 गोल खाया है सिटी के अगेंस्ट. वो क्यों है इस लिस्ट में? आई मीन यार, जब मेसी वार्डियोल को उड़ा दिया था वर्ल्ड कप के सेमीफाइनल में, क्या मतलब भूल गए ये सब विजुअल्स एट द एंड ऑफ द डे? आई मीन बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट है ये सब गल्प करना. द जोक्स एंड ऑल वी कैन डिस्कस होल नाइट, मतलब हम लोग मजाक उड़ा सकते हैं, बट द sheer blatantness of what is happening right now, the sheer irony of what is happening right now is pretty scary in my opinion, right? अभी मोहक भाई का मैं स्ट्रीम देख रहा था, सो द एथलेटिक जर्नलिस्ट्स even before Sofian Amrabat started training or any news came, मतलब they stated the fact that he's injured, right? But he's not, right? मतलब ये क्यों हो रहा है हम लोग के क्लब के साथ? आई नो दैट वी आर इन अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट time. Why is the English press always looking to like put Sheikh Jassim in the bad light? The athletic people are putting Sheikh Jassim in the bad light. Why are they putting our players in the bad light? Why are they putting this light on Manchester United ki we sign players who are injured? मतलब एक हॉयलैंड इंजरी प्रोन प्ले मतलब इंजर्ड प्लेयर को हम लोग साइन किए, बट दिस कुड कम डाउन टू द फैक्ट दैट यूनाइटेड के मेडिकल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स और जो लोग ने एक्चुअली ये आइडेंटिफाई किया है हैव आइडेंटिफाइड दिस without matlab the notice of the player or anything. Sometimes we have these diseases or flaws in our system that we also don't know. मतलब हम लोग एक टेस्ट कराने जाएंगे तो 7-8 मतलब गलत रिपोर्ट आ सकते हैं, राइट? टेस्ट में. So why is this like prejudice against Manchester United so prevalent right now? I'll ask you, Nick.
I think like I have spent a lot of time on this because this has like caused the one of the like it is the like let's say leading cause of depression in United fans right now. Okay, why are we being targeted and why suddenly like there is an expectation from our team to like be treble contenders immediately after Eric Ten Hag joined? And one of the things that I realized is that our team has been and I like I'll be blunt. It has been the best team in England for a long time. It's not even a like it's there wasn't even a comparison between some of the clubs that were there at that time. Like the amount of consistency we had in at least like regionally was insane. Like we were winning every other year, two in a row, three in a row. ऐसे ऑलमोस्ट ट्रेबल कर देते थे, कभी वो 99 के बाद तो 2-3 बार क्लोज आ गए, एक बार 2-3 बार। तो लाइक वी हैव बीन दी बेस्ट टीम इन इंग्लैंड, एंड many other teams who weren't as successful, like there is a saying, like लोग सेकंड प्लेस के लिए लड़ना स्टार्ट कर देते कि ठीक है, अभी भी दिस कल्चर इज स्टार्ट लाइक बिगिनिंग टू स्टार्ट अराउंड पेप ग्वार्डियोला एंड मैन सिटी, लाइक everyone's fighting for the second place, no one's even questioning whether city is going to lose the league. People are going to say we want to challenge for the league. बहुत कम ऐसे टीम्स है जो बोल रहे कि नहीं, इसको इसको हराएंगे हम 2 बार, we'll have the 6 points over him and we are going to beat him. Like there's no need. Only Arsenal fans are saying it right now. कि नहीं, we'll beat City twice. We'll beat every single team in the league, and we are gonna win the league. And it's okay. It's fine. It's good to have confidence, but there is a sense of this second place ka fight in Premier League, which has been towards United for a long time. Like everyone was like thinking of, Arey yaar, I think they'll somehow win by 1 point, but United's going to win the league anyway. Like they were like, अरे यार सर एलेक्स को कौन हराएगा भाई, पागल है क्या, ऐसे टाइप का डिस्कशन चलता था। तो सडनली नाउ यू सी अस आफ्टर दिस, like for the past 10-11 years, you look at United, and someone who has lived through those previous, like let's say 15 years, he won't believe where Manchester United is right now. So now once he is the reporter on the news channel, obviously it's shocking for him to see like, अरे यार यूनाइटेड के साथ क्या हो रहा है, let me cover this story. So it's not, I don't think it's hate against United, it's just the sheer shock that the current generation of people who are like they are in the workforce now. They were small kids when we were dominant in the league. So they grew up watching us always winning. And now once they are the ones who are making decisions on what people are talking about in the social like groups, then they are saying like, Are look at where United is. Like when I was small, this team was one of the best in Europe, and now it's not even qualifying for Europe every single year. So it's the sheer amount of shock these people have right now ki the team has fallen, like degraded so much, and it's like we're clawing, we're trying to spend as much as we can, we're trying to grab players, we're trying to grab managers, and nothing's working out. So yeah, obviously, first of all, we have to accept that Manchester United is a shit show. It has been a shit show for the past 6 years at least. Before that, people were expecting us to bounce back. उसके बाद तो लास्ट के 5-6 साल से तो क्या बोलते हैं, फिंगर्स क्रॉस करके सीजन शुरू होता है, कॉन्फिडेंस से तो कभी होता ही नहीं है। तो first of all, we are ready to accept the fact that yeah, Manchester United has not been as good really, but like none of the other teams have been, right? एक ही टीम 3 साल अभी चौथी बार जीतने वाली है, एक टीम बॉटल कर चुकी है, एक टीम से यूरोप क्वालिफाई नहीं हो रहा है, वो गॉड लेवल का मैनेजर मैनेजर कर करके लाए थे उसको, क्या फर्स्ट ईयर इन प्रीमियर लीग वाले ड्रॉ करके जा रहे हैं, रेलेगेशन टीम्स पॉइंट निकाल के जा रही है, वो हैरी पॉटर वाला सीन अलग हो गया पिछले साल। तो इट्स नॉट लाइक इट इज अस हु स्ट्रगलिंग अलोन। अब मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ, देख ये जो अभी कुछ केसेस चल रहे हैं टीम्स के अराउंड, लाइक देयर हैज बीन अ लॉट ऑफ डिस्कशन अराउंड यूनाइटेड्स प्लेयर्स एंड व्हाट दे डू इन देयर पर्सनल लाइफ। The day I saw the tweet about Anthony, like the news leak, United plug, I think that's the name of the Twitter, I don't know what is. He
Dude, I
from
hate
somewhere,
that guy.
somewhere he went to the police in UK, and he asked them like, what do you have to say about this, and he got a statement from the police of like the area where the crime was reported. I think his Anthony's girlfriend said it happened somewhere in the area, right? So this guy goes to those police officers and he asks them कि ऐसा ऐसा हुआ है भाई, तुमको क्या कहना है? Does he do this with every single team? No, of course he doesn't. And it's not even confirmed, everything is allegedly ये allegedly वो, but he still goes to the freaking police who's not even उसके jurisdiction में भी नहीं है ये. This is happening in Brazil right now. Unless and until they refer this case back to the US, the US police is going to do nothing. They'll only help with like evidences and stuff, and they'll help them investigate कि कोई यहाँ पे कुछ क्या कहते हैं उसे, टेस्टिमनी देने के लिए कोई है, कोई आई विटनेस है वगैरह वगैरह, वो हेल्प बस उतनी हेल्प करने वाला है यूके ब्राज़ील को, उससे ज़्यादा कुछ कर ही नहीं सकता। अनलेस एंड अनटिल शी ब्रिंग्स द केस बैक टू द यूके, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन इन यूके। बट फिर भी ये आदमी पुलिस स्टेशन में जाके वो उसके सामने बैठ के उसको पूछता है कि भाई ये यूनाइटेड इंग्लैंड बिगेस्ट क्लब में ऐसा ऐसा हो रहा है, तेरे को पता है, तेरे को पता है, तेरे जुरिस्डिक्शन में आने वाले वो लोग पूछने। तो ये क्या, ये ऑब्सेशन है ये बस यूनाइटेड के साथ, नथिंग एल्स. एंड wait for, I think, wait for another decade. If City continues this, if they don't get kicked down to the League 2, League 3, after that financial thing sorts out, people are going to look at your City like this. I have been saying this since day one. जिस दिन पेप छोड़ के जाएगा ना, और जब जब City suddenly starts to falter na, every single negative report will be about how Manchester City got destroyed after Pep Guardiola left the club, how their players have started going to Real Madrid, how Haaland is gone to Madrid, and how Mbappe and Madrid both could have come to City at one point of time. And this is going to be a whole documentary on this after he goes.
Yeah, I mean, I have like a lot of like counters. First of all, we're not going to discuss the Anthony case in depth because I have like put in my views regarding the same, and I think Anthony should be dropped no matter what. Even the alleged case should be symbolic of the fact that he's a Man United player and he should have some discipline in his life, and he should be at least dropped for a couple of games, even if nothing comes up, because we have that culture in our club, like installed in it. Matlab, even if it's corrupted right now, the foundational principles have to be respected. That is what I believe needs to be done. About Manchester United being criticized a lot, do you think, Unik, मतलब हम लोग अपने बचपन में बहुत ज्यादा arrogant थे against our fellow neighbors or Arsenal or Liverpool fans, because we start every match by singing this song: UNITED, United are the team for me. Nick Nack Paddywhack, dog without a bone. Why don't City just fuck off home? This is what we start every match from, right? With then there is the famous Liverpool chant, like uh, which I am not like going to मतलब demonetize तो नहीं हो सकता मेरे videos अभी तक monetary कुछ कमा नहीं सकते, but still I won't like use very derogatory language on our stream. But हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा arrogant थी क्या बचपन में, that led us to like this entire like hatred that is coming कि हाँ भाई I am a United fan, मेरे को मत बोलिए सब, हम लोग every season जीतते हैं. What city fans essentially do right now, have we done that in the past कि हम लोग अभी ये एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं.
I think everyone does. Like पिछले साल आर्सेनल के जश्न तो अभी हर गली में चल रहे थे. They were like handing out small Premier League trophies to their mates and stuff. So every team, every fan wants to enjoy the one year he has in the spotlight, right? And luckily for us, it was not 1 year, it was 2 years, 3 years on the bounce. Like we would win 2 times in a row, we would win 3 times in a row. कभी जाके यूसीएल ही जीत गए, कभी एफए कप में आर्सेनल को ही हरा दिया. तो okay, we know that there has been a lot of like celebration in United's history that has come towards us, but it is not without our like absolute worst years for us. Even before Sir Alex came, United had some of its worst years, right? And in those worst times, we were not even like, we were not, मतलब empathy भी नहीं थी हमारे लिए प्रीमियर लीग में.
This is what essentially I want to talk about. The Glazers came in the year 2003 or 4, right? If I'm not wrong, 2003, 4 or 5 में से एक साल आए थे. And since then we almost won the treble. वो पोर्ट्समथ के अगेंस्ट नहीं होता तो हम लोग 2008 में treble जीतते, right? उसमें से we have won like 5 or 6 लीग टाइटल्स उसके बीच. भाई मतलब, एंड जो लोग बोलते हैं कि वी साइंड द वर्ल्ड्स मोस्ट एक्सपेंसिव प्लेयर वान सेबास्टियन वेरॉन बैक देन, ग्लेजर्स तो पैसे डाले हैं भाई. मतलब ये रैशनल मेरे को नहीं समझ में आता, बिकॉज दीज वन टाइम पेमेंट्स हैव बीन, कैसे मैं समझाऊं, मतलब Louis Van Gaal's first season, he got a very good matlab, set of players. Matlab, a good set of players, by a good set of players, I don't mean the fact that he wanted those players. He got good players on paper, marketable players on paper, right? If you go back to David Moyes' first season, he wanted Tony Cruz. We gave him Juan Mata and Marouane Fellaini, right? Because Tony Cruz was not the thing yet, right? Matlab, Juan Mata, former Chelsea player of the year. Marouane Fellaini, very promising attacking midfielder from Everton, जो गोल मारता है header से. So very marketable players at the end of the day, not the players that essentially David Moyes wanted. Jose Mourinho, first season he gets Paul Pogba, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Second season he cries for a defender. Literally वो पैर पड़ रहा है. मतलब प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में मेरे को एक डिफेंडर दो, मेरे को एक डिफेंडर दो, मेरे को एक डिफेंडर दो. हम लोग क्या दिए उसको? फ्रेड. तो ग्लेजर्स का ये एंटायर नैरेटिव मतलब लोग नहीं समझते हैं ऑफ लाइक सपोर्टिंग मैनेजर्स ऑफ लाइक बीइंग देयर व्हेन यू हैव टू बी देयर एज गुड ओनर्स. यू सी सिटी पे लोग हंसे थे कि पेप ग्वार्डियोला अपने फर्स्ट सीजन में 4 या 5 विंग बैक्स लाया था. Wing backs as in full backs लाया था, right? But he knew the fact that Zabaleta had to be replaced. He was getting old. That's why he got मतलब the replacements, right? मतलब Lescott था तब City में. He was a centre back, but he knew the fact that these players need replacement. He replaced Fernandinho with Rodri, मतलब so fluently. Oh my God, sorry for that. So fluently, right? So these are these are things we have not seen from the Glazers, right? At Man United, uh, and this has been happening after they have come, and we have won initially, and we are not winning at a time when we are not winning, right? So yeah,
Like we need to remember, like Pep managed to continue a team that had Yaya Toure, Eden Dzeko, Silva. These players were City was already scoring very freely before Pep came, right? They never had a problem scoring goals. So it was even under Pellegrini that they had a good squad, right? It was just that some or the other time something used to happen. There was a weird result, and somehow a team used to win by 1, 2, 3 points. We even lost on goal difference a season. So it is not that uh, those owners didn't know how to run a club. They had a clear target. Like there was a clear target. If you want to win the league, you beat these two teams, right? Some of the time it used to be like kabhi it was Chelsea, sometimes it was Arsenal, and they always got paired with United. You want to win the league, you beat these 2, 3 teams, you win the league. So when new owners came after the Glazers, like first of all that rule got removed. That stupid thing they took a loan of 500. Like the debt was on the club before buying the club. I don't know if you noticed. They used their future assets as a security for the loan they took to buy those assets. So that rule got removed after Glazers did it. So pehle hi you put like the club in debt, and like people expect that ठीक है यार ये लोग it's a good club, it needs investment, and finally they'll start to market the club and they'll pay off the debt. No, they start taking dividends after that. So first you take the debt and then you don't repay the debt. You expect that the club has enough money left over after paying you, paying the agents, paying the players, paying the staff, paying themselves. They have enough left to pay the debt, right? Which is obviously a stupid consideration. It's something that only someone who has been handed down the wealth thinks of, because they don't know how finances are managed. It's basic fact. You have to work in that sector to know how to do good, right? So first of all, having American owners has never been like the gold standard for European football. It is not like every single American owner brings footballing success with them. It's obviously they have been, and sometimes wrongly also, they have been looked down upon when football is concerned. Like तुमको नहीं पता है how the sport is played, you don't know which players are good, you don't know the leagues, and there are some good players that are now coming up. But obviously when the Glazers did it, it is it is almost 100% clear that they didn't know what they were getting into. They were like, this is a good club, it is relatively underrated, it has not been marketed as well. There are people in the United States that are interested in this club. So the owner, like, who wants to buy the club goes like, Are, I can make billions off of this thing, I'll buy it, and I'll put people in place to run this thing. And the first mistake he makes is puts the wrong people in charge, and that has been our undoing for the past 17 years. Always there's the wrong guy in charge, always. वुडवर्ड हो, आर्नल्ड हो, उनको लेन देना ही नहीं है फुटबॉल से. So it is not the ownership, in my opinion. उन लोग ने उनका काम किया है, उन लोग ने क्या बोलते हैं, वो लोग आए ही पैसे कमाने के लिए थे. आई डोंट थिंक दे एवर वांटेड टू डू, दे वांटेड यूनाइटेड टू डू वेल. दे नेवर बॉट द क्लब टू improve the club. They bought the club to improve their finances. So I knew, like after 2010 itself I knew कि नहीं, ये लोग का काम ही नहीं है अच्छा काम करना, ये लोग का काम ही नहीं है ये. And after Van Gaal started like demeaning them in public, like he's like, if you want to play football, don't come to this club, this is a commercial club, this club doesn't care about playing good football. Once he starts speaking things like that, obviously our suspicions get confirmed, right? These owners are shit. So the next hope is at least you put good people in charge, right? To at least, तुमको तो कुछ नहीं आता है तो एटलीस्ट मैनेजर्स, ओनर्स, डायरेक्टर्स ऑफ फुटबॉल, रिक्रूटिंग स्क्वाड, जो यूथ का कंट्रोल जिनके पास है, विमेंस टीम का कंट्रोल, उनको तो अच्छा तुम लोग अपॉइंट करो. फाइनेंस बैंकर्स को रखते हैं भाई ये लोग इसमें. आई डोंट नो व्हाट दे थिंक ऑफ, लाइक घर से ही उठा के रख देते हैं मामा जी के बेटे को मैनेजर.
Hmm. The initial years when Ed Woodward took care of our transfer business is the most baffling thing. He's a financer and a uh, person from that particular sector, and you give him the helm of a club like Man United. तो obviously हम लोग obviously Juan Mata जैसे players को sign करेंगे. Not that he was a very bad player in Manchester United. He was very decent in his initial years, but he was not wanted by uh, David Moyes. So I'll take a few chats, and again, like guys, sorry for taking it to the Glazers. ये Ballon d'Or nominations के बारे में stream की
ये क्या,
always.
वो कहते हैं ना कि सारा पानी एक ही सिंक में आके डूबता है हमेशा, वो पूरे दुनिया में फ्लो के आता है, वो ग्लेजर्स के सिंक में ही जाके डूबता है.
I agree. I agree. So I'll take a few chats. Sorry guys, I'm still learning this entire setup, learning how to stream at the same time. So I'll take a few chats and then we'll move on to the next segment where we continue to talk about the Ballon d'Or nominations. So Ankush Bhai says Quara was good, deserves to be there. Okay, understood. We have discussed this in depth. I'm baffled how Rashford will get there, Ayan. Absolutely. Anirban, I want Rashford. I think we all do. That's why we are here. Um, Kavara was really good last season and he had impact on their title win. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Anirban says, I emoji Shantanu is crying like always. Ayan says, सारे comments पढ़ोगे तो हो गया. Anirban says, crying. At least apps आप सब comments पढ़ते हो. Unlike certain YouTubers who has 9.5k subs. अरे मेरे तो कितने कम subs है भाई, बहुत easy है. Frankfurt में Muani had a brilliant season, I heard, but Ballon d'Or nomination, now we agree, was underratedly shit at Barca though. I'm thinking you're talking about Griezmann, or I might be completely wrong. Ankush bhai, you can add a comment there. Antonio nahi, Antoine. Okay. Shantanu, I had a brilliant season with my Gully ka team. I deserve to be there. I know you do. But आप 10 हारे भी थे डेलॉइट से, तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है अंकुश भाई. I am not cool. Ankush, you aren't cooking me right. अच्छा. So Ayan ka comment hai, for many years they gave importance to trophies won in season. How is Guardiola ahead of Kunde? Kunde made it to the World Cup final and had a top season in La Liga. Now, I completely agree to this point. Kunde had a brilliant season. उनिक, तेरे को याद है क्या लास्ट सीजन जब हम लोग बार्सिलोना के अगेंस्ट फेस करने जाते थे, बहुत सारे स्टैट्स ऐसे आते थे कि 4 गोली खाई है बार्सिलोना, 7 गोली खाई है, 15 गोली खाई है बार्सिलोना इन देयर लीग कैंपेन. But they were shit against us, their defense. But in their own league, they were pretty good apparently, right? So why does Kunde make it not on the list, and why does Guardiola make it on the list?
As we like discussed earlier, it depends on how you define the list. Is this the list of the best defenders in Europe? If it is, then both don't deserve to be on it. There are better people. And I would like to say Araujo absolutely cooked Rashford. If you're saying Kunde Kunde, भाई Araujo ने तो पूरा Rashford को घर भेज दिया था उधर कैंप नो पे. So I don't think like it is the list of the best defenders last year. So it's a random list. लाइक होप टू गॉड, प्रे टू गॉड, पूजा करो, अगरबत्ती लगाओ कि भाई मेरा फेवरेट प्लेयर आ जाए लिस्ट में, बस जीत जाएंगे। और अभी तो अपने फेवरेट अपन, एब्सोल्यूट गॉड ऑफ फुटबॉल इज रिमेनिंग। म्यूट म्यूट म्यूट।
So yeah, like I said, but अराओ का वो वाला पेनल्टी था भाई, यूनाइटेड वर्सेस बार्सिलोना वाला कैंप नु वाला मैच में, जो रैशफोर्ड के से घुमा दिया था ना अराओ काउंटर पे, वो पेनल्टी था in my opinion. But that is irrelevant. Obviously, Araujo and Kunde are great defenders. I would say Kunde still deserves to be on the list. If my point is, if Guardiola is on the list, Kunde तो definitely should be here. Um, शांतनु से अंकुश, मैंने बोला कोलोमुआनी नहीं होना चाहिए, अच्छा डिजर्व्ड इन माय ओपिनियन। अनिर्बान से मार्कस रैशफोर्ड 2022-23 50 goals, 50 games, 30 goals, 8 assists, disgraceful not to be nominated, we'll come to that. शांतनु says अयान यूरोपा लीग खेला बीबी इसलिए। अनिर्बान डब्लू, अच्छा मैं अभी खाली इंपॉर्टेंट कमेंट्स दूंगा, ये लोग अड्डा मार रहे हैं यहाँ पे। साका इज अ गुड बॉय दैट्स व्हाई। अच्छा, एलिसन isn't on Yashin list. The celebrity has spoken. I think Unik bhai has made it clear that it's a random list of players, Daksh bhai. So what's the point of even discussing Alison's presence? We are here to discuss the goat's presence, and I think we have talked a lot of irrelevant stuff up till now. In the first 52 minutes of the stream, we'll go to the goat in a moment after I like browse through. Uh, if something pops out, I'll put it on the screen. Ankush Bhai says it's always been like that. The difference in the last 10 years is SAF used to stop this nonsense reports to come out. Media was barely given anything during that time. United always been media's favorite. So, Unik Bhai, um, आपने क्या वो वीडियो देखी है जहाँ पे एलेक्स फर्गसन बोलते हैं कि अ लॉट ऑफ प्लेयर्स वर डिसिप्लिन्ड उन लोग के फादर्स और ग्रैंड फादर्स के बारे में स्टोरीज बोल के, लाइक दे वर essentially those players who were playing at Manchester United during his time were not like uh, very disciplined, but he used to go on these like sessions where he used to talk about how difficult life has been for their fathers and their grandfathers, and that's how he would essentially ground these young kids before like putting them on to the biggest stage, that is Manchester United, right? There's a very fatherly son matlab connect with the players, right? And what I see from Eric Ten Hag is very reminiscent of that. I might be completely wrong in saying that, but when you compare it with what Louis van Gaal was like, or what Jose Mourinho was essentially like with his players, or what David Moyes was with his players, I think that protective umbrella that like Eric Ten Hag brings on his players is reminiscent of what Sir Alex Ferguson did, right? Your thoughts, Unik bhai?
And he takes the flag for it, right? Now, after Sancho doing this, let's even like this guy is not even relevant in the starting 11. Let's not discuss that. Let's say Greenwood ho gaya, Anthony ho gaya. These even after these cases, there is a strong agenda that Eric Ten Hag supports them. Why? Because he doesn't publicly like he isn't against them publicly, right? So obviously you can say that he is wrong in doing that, but I think he has to be the sort of person that he is. He has to be that fatherly figure in the team, because there are a lot of youngsters who look up to these people, and they have been away from their family for a long time. वो लोग academies कब ज्वाइन करते हैं फुटबॉल के, when they're 9 years old, 10 years old, they start playing football for like a significant amount of their time, daily time. तो वो लोग obviously family से बहुत दूर है, and there's a reason, right? There's a reason why every single uh, player that has played under SAF has such a huge amount of respect for him, right? Maybe उनका झगड़ा हुआ, वो there might have been a falling out, like he like वो कभी like they might have been benched by SAF also, उनका झगड़ा भी हो, गाली भी खाया हो, और मे बी उससे भी ज्यादा सीरियस हो गया हो. He has always been a fatherly figure to them. एवरा हो गया, फर्डिनेंड हो गया, रोनाल्डो हो गया. The way they talk about SAF is obviously coming from someone who looks at SAF like he's their dad, right? And he has been. And you'll like the sheer difference you see in those players signed by Tenag and the players that are in the squad. Like, oh my fucking god! Like the way those players, you hear that Onana's first interview when he joins the club, and listening to the interview you start to feel like नहीं यार इस बार तो लीग जीतेंगे साला, ये ऐसे बोल रहा है ना तो मेरे को तो लगता है ये कर देगा. You look at how Licha like dominates the back line. You look at what Amrabat says when he comes. These are like mentally strong people. And today's in Amrabat's interview, like he said that like the interviewer asked him like, what do you do besides football? Like what do you do in your personal life? And he straight away says there's nothing much. Eric Ten Hag during my Utrecht time always taught us that football is a way of life, and I respect that. That's what he said. So obviously Eric Ten Hag is trying to like sort of hint to them that तुम्हारा काम फुटबॉल खेलना है, फुटबॉल अच्छा खेलना है, and if you do something bad in your personal life, it's going to like affect your football. And he's trying to teach people who he is like brought up in the world. I don't know what is up with like Anthony. I don't think, like I hope it has a good outcome. Any case, अगर victim के लिए good होगा then also it's okay. If it's good for Anthony, I don't really care. But I hope there is a good outcome. Like it doesn't get dropped. Like there is some like fruit that comes out of this like whole endeavor that the victim and Anthony are like going on right now. But I think yes, after a long time you see a manager that is hailed by his players as someone they look up to, someone they want to work under. Like there's such a huge pull that is associated with Eric Ten Hag right now. I don't know how anyone would like want to come and play with us. Like we are not offering high wages anymore. Chelsea is the team that like is the most attractive financially right now. They'll pay any money to get you out of your club. They'll pay you good money. And they'll sign you even before you're like a good player. In my opinion, they'll sign you if you get mentioned in a Twitter post with a blue tick right now. Yeah. So I don't know how we are pulling these good great players, and I think it is down to the manager. He is like वो होता है ना, बैकग्राउंड होता है एक ये सब का. हमको जो फुटबॉल दिखता है ना वो सिर्फ इट्स समथिंग दैट दे वांट टू शो अस. इसके पीछे बहुत कुछ है. इसके पीछे एनालिस्ट है, पर्सनल कॉन्टैक्ट्स हो गए. You would have played with them in like academy or something and you know that guy, you watched him. अभी ऐसे न्यूज़ तो एरिक टेना क्या आ रहे, एक मैच देख लिया तो खरीद लिया ऐसे करके. तो there has been contact of these players with in and around Erik Ten Hag, and they see something in the manager, and I think that's good. Like he looks like a manager that deserves time for the first time. I think that उसको ऐसा फ्लैश हम लोग किक नहीं कर सकते क्लब से.
Also the simple fact that if you look at manager profiles, Unik, there is the strict fatherly मतलब एरिक टेन हैग एस्क लाइक मैनेजर जो पब्लिकली गाली दे देगा अपने प्लेयर्स को बट ऑल्सो डिफेंड करेगा अपने प्लेयर्स को. गर्नाचो या फिर एंटनी को कोई कुछ अगर बोलेगा देन खा जाएगा वो. ठीक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल very reminiscent of what Sir Alex Ferguson. And now there is another kind of manager who's like very soft spoken, very nice, very cordial in press conferences and Poch like, for example, right? मतलब very sweet, humble guy. मतलब कुछ ज्यादा मतलब aggressive
पॉटर
नहीं होना है उसको. हाँ हाँ. Yeah, go ahead.
पॉटर.
Potter is a great shout, right? So would you rather have the first kind of people now? This person might not be the best man manager, or would you have the other kind of person at the helm of your club? I would personally have the first kind of person at the helm of my club because अगर वो एक सिस्टम बना दिया जहाँ पे इवन मतलब योर बेस्ट प्लेयर्स who are incidentally the most indisciplined don't मतलब perform well, you can just simply kick them out and put in मतलब talented youth and मतलब propel them to certain levels where they have a similar amount of performance to the best player that has been kicked out, right? So I feel this is the better kind of coaching, and I'll give you like 3 to 4 minutes to answer that question before we start talking about Saka.
I think both kind of people like deserve to be in a coaching system. Like they deserve to be in those five guys that are like the planners of the men's team of any club. But I think the one who talks to the media, the one who talks to the people around the club, and the one who talks to the players has to be the first kind of the guy. यू नो, क्योंकि एंड आई मतलब अथॉरिटी इज नेसेसरी इन दिस काइंड ऑफ ग्रुप्स, लाइक अगर मतलब मैंने उस दिन अपनी बात हो रही थी तो मैंने वो उस टाइम पे भी बोला था कि मिलिट्री ग्रुप्स के बाद अगर कहीं अथॉरिटी की रिक्वायरमेंट है तो इट इज इन स्पोर्ट्स ग्रुप्स इन माय ओपिनियन, क्योंकि similar level of dedication लगता है. And yeah, obviously in a military system you're fighting to stay alive in some circumstances, and here also you are technically fighting to stay alive. People are ready to fucking throw bricks at you if you go wrong. So the amount of like care that has to be taken to make sure that you don't do something wrong in your life needs a certain amount of authority over you, like. और ये नहीं पसंद होता बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स को कि कोई आके बोले कि नहीं तुम्हारा डाइट हम बोलेंगे ऐसा ही होगा, you will not be able to cheat on your diet, you will not be able to like go here go there, you will not even be able to represent your country sometimes, maybe आपको कुछ इंजरी के symptoms है and you'll have to take a rest for 4 months and maybe we will not let you go for the international break. ये सब अथॉरिटी की चीज है, राइट. एंड व्हाट प्लेयर्स थिंक इज लाइक ही इज ट्राइंग टू लाइक put someone else in front of me, like अभी सैंचो का ही देख ले, मे बी एरिक टेनहैग wants Sancho to understand some of the like minute nuances of the system that he hasn't understood yet. Maybe Eric Ten Hag wants Sancho to understand the false nine position better, and maybe that's why he's not playing him. Maybe Eric Ten Hag wants Ahmad or Pelistri to be the number two for the winger role, and he wants like Sancho to be the disruptor who comes in and changes the system like completely in a game. Like you bring on Sancho and everybody starts playing in a new position, and the opponent manager doesn't understand what the new system is. Like even Arteta said there are like 4 to 6 formations a game, right? So maybe Sancho is someone who really want is the game changer, and Eric Ten Hag wants to make him into that. But what he is thinking is right now, like ये मेरे को एंटनी के पहले क्यों नहीं खिला रहा है, right? So some players think that managers are trying to pull them back, and उसके पीछे एक और रीजन क्या है कि एंटनी को एरिक टेनाग ने खरीदा है. So he thinks that maybe he's उसका player है, so he's trying to push him and he's trying to give him more platform. But I honestly don't think that, क्योंकि making Anthony the greatest player is not going to save Eric Ten Hag's job. What is going to save Eric Ten Hag's job is winning the league, probably challenging for a treble, winning 2 cups a year, 3 cups a year, 6 cups a year if he's that if he's that great. But that is what is going to save his job, and that is what makes him stay at United for the next 10 years. Let's say we give him another contract. Not freaking Anthony being the next Ballon d'Or. Who cares, right? Who cares if he wins the freaking best player in Lokhandwala circuit? I don't give a shit. I want him to score the first goal against Man City, against Barcelona, against Arsenal. So authoritarian manager चाहिए, but we need those man managers behind him also, right?
And he has scored against all the three teams, Anthony. By the way, Man City, Arsenal, and Barcelona. So,
Yeah, Ballon
ठीक
d'Or
है.
confirmed basically, right?
Yeah, I mean he's not even on the list, but yeah. Now, Saka is present on the list, and Marcus Rashford is not. The entire topic to discuss on this stream. Why is Saka present on the list? What makes Saka such a good player? And why is Rashford not on the list? And what makes Rashford such an undeserving player to like be present on this list after scoring 30 goals, 11 assists, scoring against a plethora of great teams, Man City, Arsenal, home and away, Chelsea, all these teams he scored against. I don't think he scored against Chelsea though, right? He was probably injured. Casemiro scored किया था at the bridge, and he scored like 4 or 5 against Chelsea at home. I don't think Rashford
Yeah, he
scored, but
scored in the Chelsea game. I think he was one on one
तो
with the keeper, right?
मस्त.
हाँ.
लिवरपूल के अगेंस्ट भी वो गोल मारा, बार्सिलोना के अगेंस्ट भी वो गोल मारा, कैंप नु में तो वो नहीं किया था बार्सिलोना को वो. मतलब
Single
he was
handedly
the
saved the game, I think. Rashford there.
yeah, yeah, matlab he owned Camp Nou more than Spotify on that particular occasion. But the point is, what makes him own Spotify Camp Nou, and not be a part of this list, and what makes Saka, who has had a 7 to an 8 on 10 season, in my opinion, Why does he make it on the list? Why is he getting so much hype? Why does he get like England's player of the year? Why is it not Harry Kane or Jude Bellingham?
आई थिंक लाइक मैंने एक पर्सपेक्टिव डेवलप किया है अभी ये लिस्ट को देखने की तरफ. लेट्स लुक एट द लिस्ट लाइक व्हाट्स द हॉट न्यू थिंग इन राइट नाउ. What's the hot new thing in leagues right now? So what's the hot new thing in England right now? Of course it's Bukayo Saka, right? So this is the way you look at the list, and this is the way you justify the choices. So Bukayo Saka is the latest like product to come out of England from the past few seasons. So usko le liya. Why not Rashford? Because Rashford has been the new like the hot new happening thing in England right now, and he's not new anymore. This is the only thing that I think works in favor of Saka. Other than that, every single reason like concludes with Rashford should at least be on the list. Let's say the amount of goals he scored, he's already in the top, let's say 5 percentile of 30. कितने कितनों ने मारे हैं 30 गोल भाई आपने हर एक लीग में एक एक दो दो ही तो होंगे, right? So on that stat alone he should be there because he's one of the best goal scorers, let's say, of his league. Yeah, let's look at a different way. If is he the best left winger in the league? Haven't been much. Maybe he gets beat by Grealish by a little bit. Of course, he's not getting beaten by stats, but at least by trophies. So let's say Grealish wins on that. So again, you don't see him in the list here. I don't know why you take Ilkay Gundogan and you don't take Grealish, because if you talk about impact, right, you have to have impactful players. You take Kim Min Jae, right? Uska impact was so like solely in the defense. तो solely in the wing में ही था ना ग्रिलिश का impact, तो ले लो उसको भी, right? So I don't know. Basically, agar you ask me for a very like foundationally strong reason why Saka is here, it doesn't make sense. Nobody can make sense of Saka being there. He has not played. I don't think he has played in any major final, semi-final for that matter, right? वहां तक भी नहीं पहुंचे. The I think the only good thing he has is those golden stripes on his jersey right now from last year. क्योंकि वो लोग को लगा they are going to win the league, so भाई बना दी golden jersey, पहनो अभी, right? So that's the only achievement. And I know Arsenal fans are going to be triggered after like someone makes a step, but it's true. You bottled the league last year, bhai. It's not something that we say to troll you. It's freaking fact, right? तुम लोग ऐसा दरवाजे तक जाके वापस आ गए थे उस टाइम पे, and you wore the party costume to the party and you came back home, and now your parents are looking at you sitting there in those that clown uniform for the rest of the year, right? So like own it, but don't try to justify the fact that Saka is somehow the best player in England. Of course he's not. Of course he's not the best player in England right now.
Why? Unik, बहुत लोग तो बोलते हैं at least Arsenal bottled the league. I would not even say that they really bottled the league, because at the end of the season, at the dying end of the season, I think Arsenal fell apart, and that is where Manchester City showed their sheer ruthlessness and मतलब क्या बोलते हैं आपका मतलब consistency to keep मतलब Arsenal at the back of मतलब their entire thing, right? मतलब I don't see them really bottling the league. मतलब bottling the league would be essentially them leading the league by about 20 points, and then वो last 6-7 मैच हार गए. ठीक है, वैसा तो नहीं हुआ था, right? मतलब City were
Can we
right at their tail.
just a minute? अभी
क्या
अभी
है?
तुमको तुम्हारा आवाज आ रहा है क्या? Repeat. Just try to say something.
हेलो हेलो हेलो, नहीं आ रहा.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
So it's all
We have
right.
yeah, 1 hour 8 minutes to figure this out, but okay, we'll do it. We'll do this professionally from the next time.
Yeah.
So hello
Yeah.
Shantanu, hello Ayan. Really
At the
appreciate
end
your
of the
presence.
season there, like last year, Saka was being discussed as a mentality player. Like people are saying
Mhm,
that maybe Saka doesn't have a winner's mentality. That's why they are like choking at the end of the season. And the same
mhm.
player you pick up and you put him in one of the best players list. I don't see the point. But of course, he's the like he's the goat. You know, he's one of the best players that England has produced, and something that we talked about, like he has been the PFA player of the year for every single year of his life. right from zero. So
Huh.
so obviously he deserves to be here, right? Of course he is not here because he played well last season. He played well every single day of his life, every single minute that he was breathing oxygen. He was being the greatest player in England. That's the only reason I can think of.
आर्सेनल के मतलब फैंस का बात मतलब सुनोगे तो ही इज दिस ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल जीसस एस्क फिगर दैट स्टार्टेड
For
एज अ
them,
विंग बैक.
it's for them, obviously. For them, they'll obviously say he's their best player. And okay, ठीक है. You won't say Odegaard, Martinelli. It's all right. Yeah, you say Saka is your best player. No issues, brother.
नहीं, their entire point is he started as a wing back and then he made it into the wings. वो कितना मस्त है, he can dribble, he's gaining his physicality apparently. He has a good shot on him and everything is accurate in my opinion. But what about Gareth Bale? What about players like these when you talk about acha, A for Arsenal is here, main. Oh my god, welcome Daksh bhai, legend of the channel again. So, what about players like Gareth Bale? Are we putting a disregard to their name when we like state the fact that Saka is one of these generational talents of the English game, who is also this transformational Jesus-esque figure that the Arsenal fans want us to believe?
Like, okay, like I understand their perspective. They want to say that Saka is this generational talent from coming out from Arsenal. Yeah, we accept it. We have two, three generational talents sitting on the bench right now as we speak too, right? We're not like freaking parading naked Garnacho pictures in an open bus, like So
Yeah.
we have generational players too who have been game like absolute game changers, people who helped us beat you last season, right?
Mm, mm.
So it's not
And
that
this
we don't
season
have
too.
one. And
This
this
season
season
too.
too, right? Almost beat you.
That
Like
line saved.
yeah, that
This.
line saved Saka's Ballon d'Or. I mean, right?
Yeah,
If
I
that
mean,
line is an inch back, this is freaking Garnacho on this list today.
yeah. I mean,
So,
देखो, Saka का entire argument. One point I want to say is the fact that Saka is a brilliant footballer at the end of the day.
yeah,
मतलब he is मतलब England's best right-sided attacker. Is he England's best right-sided attacker, Unik? I think he is. मतलब
yeah,
और
I
कौन
think
है मतलब?
like the person I think that is closest to taking his spot, like depends on his performance. But I think Cole Palmer can fight for his spot, but obviously he's not ready. And I know, yeah, obviously he's not ready, but you see the profile of players, and I think that maybe this guy like destroys it at in the league this season, and then people start saying that if Saka is not performing, put Cole Palmer there, and maybe we can do better. I like future में हो जाएगा, बराबर. But right now, I don't see anyone who plays on the right that is as good as Saka for England. अभी लोग बोलेंगे सैंचो को तुम खिला नहीं रहे हो, that's why we don't get to see Sancho, maybe he'll take his place. I don't think he'll take his place. First of all, he's
No,
not a
no, no.
left, he doesn't use his left as good as Saka does. तो
Mm-hmm.
तो
Yeah.
ये कटिंग रन्स का तो भूल ही जाओ तुम लोग. You'll have to like you'll like Sancho will be England's Anthony if he plays on the right wing. वो लाइन तक बॉल लेके जाएगा, हर every defender will show him the byline, he'll run to the byline and he'll look for overlaps, he'll look for cutbacks, and that is the stupidest way to play in my opinion. Saka like enables a lot for England, so yes, he is the best right hand player for England right now.
बट सैंचो के उतने मतलब कटबैक्स और वो मतलब his main thing that makes like Sancho better than Anthony is his ball control at the end of the day and his pass on him. I think मतलब those are the two things that make
See
Sancho
what teams do against us is they flood the like they like to flood the final third of the game, right? Every single time you see us, what teams will do against us is they'll press our backline, and the moment we get the ball away from our backline, as soon as it goes to the wing, because it always goes to the wings, we do not play with like builders in the middle. We like to push against their backline, and it's our way of resisting their press, right? So let's say City wants to press us to our let's say outside our box. They want to keep the ball there. So what we do is we try to line up to their back line and we try to look for long balls. So just जैसे हमारी हमेशा बात होती है, I try to say that we are looking like long ball merchants. It's because we try to like उनको डराने की कोशिश करते हैं हम कि look we can run behind you if you are not
Hmm.
careful, and that's how we push their line back. So they
Hmm.
slowly start going, and you'll look and you'll see this in the Arsenal game as well. As soon as we scored
Hmm.
the goal, उनकी line की height कम हो गई. They
Hmm.
started to
Yeah.
sit back a little, and that's how
Yeah.
Bruno and Ericsson gets activated now. The first
Hmm.
goal that Ericsson scored was exact the way Modric scored against Liverpool. You must have seen that run. I don't know. Yeah, it was Modric's run, right? I think Benzema scored on that. The 5-2 at Anfield.
हाँ हाँ, मैंने मैच देखी है, बट मेरे को एक्चुअली मतलब दैट
Yeah, so
ग्लिम्स याद नहीं
the
आता.
moment I saw Ericsson steal that ball, मेरे को वो गोल याद आ गया मॉड्रिच का. He ran through Liverpool's midfield and I think he set up Benzema on that goal. So it was a goal that puts fear in backlines, and it forces them to stay close to their goalkeeper so they can always look for the ball back, right? And they can always rely on the goalkeeper to sweep. They want to reduce the space between their backline and the goalkeeper. So the any runner doesn't have the time to settle his run. मतलब you'll see Rashford does it all the time. उसको pass मिलता है, but he either is there's no space for him to control and shoot, or he gets shown the line. So he runs to the line and the chance is gone. So this is how teams like to defend against us, and that's why Sancho is good because he can work well in those close spaces. But again, that's I think that's better if he works that in the central portions. If he plays centrally, I think
Hmm.
he'll get more out of this play style. I don't think he'll get that good if he plays on the wing for us. Like left wing, okay, you can use your right. So we used him last year there, and you see the goal against Leicester was a very good example. Like the way we
Hmm.
destroyed their press was beautiful. The third goal, I think it was like we
Hmm.
scored. Was as soon as he came on and we scored, it was beautiful. The way he like dribbles past the press, he finds the free man, and the free
Against
man makes.
Liverpool also, bro.
Yeah, so he is the guy who can get us out of tight spaces, and he'll
Hmm.
be good because teams like to make it tight against us. They like to like play like
Hmm.
man markers against us. So he
Ankush
has
Bhai has
hope.
a comment. एक second. Ankush Bhai has a comment, but that was from a mistake, right? Havertz ka miss pass, while Modric wala was created by Modric, in my opinion. Unik,
Yeah, of course.
you'd like
I
to.
was saying that the run was like Modric because obviously with
Hmm.
a single touch he was able to like run past their second press. I think it was, yeah, it was their second line of press. So वो एक बॉल मतलब क्या बोलते हैं वो एक डुअल जीत के ही वाज पास देयर प्रेस. देयर वाज ओनली टू पीपल. दोनों ही थे ना वो. हाँ,
Hmm.
दोनों ही
Hmm.
बचे. तो सिमिलैरिटी आई थिंक इन दैट सेंस था. ऑफ कोर्स मॉड्रिच मेड दैट रन हिमसेल्फ. ही फाउंड द स्पेस एंड बट what I wanted to emphasize was that Sancho likes to play in closed spaces. He's
Hmm.
not a runner. He doesn't like to run past lines. He likes to play
Hmm.
past them. He likes one touch, he likes one touch
Hmm.
football a lot.
Hmm. Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
pass, and
Yeah.
he likes to find like triangles in the place where in the field where they can sort of manipulate position, manipulate players. So I think that
Hmm.
kind of a play style for us is better if he plays centrally. Like people always say that no, he's
Hmm.
always
Hmm.
been
Hmm.
a wing. No, but we don't play like that on the wing.
वो
We don't
डॉर्टमंड के साथ भी तो बहुत मतलब सेंट्रली आता था कभी कभी, लाइक
yeah,
टू
he
प्ले.
made his career by like coming in and setting up goals and scoring goals, right? You don't score goals by running to the byline, and that's what our wingers do. And it's not wrong, it's not a mistake. Our wingers want to do that because they want overlaps, underlaps. They want their left backs to get in, left backs and wing backs
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah,
in. That's
yeah,
why
yeah,
our
yeah.
wingers do that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the one
Yeah.
time Rashford does it well, we destroy Nottingham. The one time
Mm-hmm.
Rashford gets Eric Ten Hag's system, we destroy Nottingham completely, blow them out of the water. That's what Garnacho has been doing. He's set up a lot of goals like that. And you say, and we say he is direct, but he is direct because he comes on late in the game. He comes on when everyone's tired. So he does
Mm-hmm.
it because he can. He can run past players. So obviously he's gonna run past players, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you look at when Garnacho start like he began starting games. You don't see him running at the goal every single time, right?
Hmm. I like to segue this. मतलब a lot of Arsenal fans would believe that Saka is a more complete player when compared to Marcus Rashford, and Marcus Rashford as you said, is a better runner. He can carry the ball and like score these goals by taking on plays. Whereas Saka has a more versatile set of features, which like proves the fact that he
Yeah.
deserves to be on this list more than Marcus Rashford. What are your opinions on this?
I don't think so. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, yes, they have different preferred play styles, but if this list is based on ability, I think it is not impossible for Rashford to play like that. It's not impossible for Rashford to set up goals. Like when he was new, he used to make those big crosses in the field. Like when Rashford was new in the United team, you saw
Hmm.
him set up Lukaku, you saw him set up Ibrahimovic. So it is not that he can't play like this. He got to play like this because managers saw that he's a runner.
So this is what my point has always been. Like Rashford is a very underrated passer. If you look at his debut against Midtjylland, you remember that game, right? Marcus Rashford का debut in the Europa League against Midtjylland, where मतलब he scored 2 goals, but उसने एक मस्त assist दिया था, which like proved his like passing ability from the very beginning of his story, right? You go back to the Nottingham Forest game as well, like his pass on Bruno's head, no matlab press report like covered that. It was all about क्या बोलते हैं Casemiro's tummy and all, मतलब no,
Yeah.
मतलब press report like covered that brilliant
We
pinging
we
pass.
almost did that again against Arsenal. Like it was only
Hmm.
because the pass was behind Hoyland. Otherwise, it was a carbon copy of the Ericsson goal again. It was going to be, but again, it's minor mistakes by Hoyland also. It was his first game. Maybe he's nervous. I don't know. Positioning issue, tha, but he can do it if he wants to. His manager doesn't want him to play like that right now because we have different targets for him.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, man, it's very disappointing to see that a player of Marcus Rashford's ability, matlab, he had one of his best seasons. He was भाई उसको पीएफए में भी नहीं लिया, उसके ऊपर मतलब उसको इंग्लैंड में भी स्टार्ट नहीं देते. लाइक व्हाट इज द रीजन व्हाई मतलब मार्कस रैशफोर्ड इज नॉट गेटिंग selected in these मतलब trophy brackets मतलब
You
slash
know,
uh, why is India not a like complete England starter?
I feel like I always try to look at who can, who is responsible for these things to happen, and obviously a lot of names come around, and you see, like let's say, uh, Licha in his next game like gives away a penalty, or maybe he gets injured. I'm sure there are going to be at least 2 to 300 Twitter accounts that are staunch United fans that are going to like blow off on Licha for that game, and there's going to be some sort of uh, uh, like there's going to be a group of people who will suddenly start believing that maybe Licha is not as good as we thought he is, maybe Carragher is right, and maybe he's too short to be in the league, और ये discussion start हो जाएगा immediately after one game. So, and why is it important is because you see lists like these that are heavily influenced by social narratives. These are not names of people who have been chosen by experts, in my opinion. No expert in his right mind would make this list.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
obviously yeah, so these are not players who have expert choices. These are players chosen by people. And how do we indirectly choose these people because we discuss about them, we give them the hype, we make them who we are, right? And of course, when you think of a situation from this perspective, Rashford has not been the most loved player in United in recent times, right? Yeah, we always like put his name up in our like उसका फोटो अपन इसमें अपने भगवान के बाजू में रख देंगे गेम से पहले कि बाबा गोल मार ले. या बट गेम होने के बाद निकाल के फेंक देते हैं ना उसका फोटो. वी डोंट लाइक. Let's look at Arsenal. Let's look at how Arsenal treats Saka. Nobody is talking about the fact that Saka did nothing the last game. So where is the agenda against Saka by Arsenal fans right now? कि अरे तू कहाँ था भाई? तीन एक तो राइस को आके गोल मारना पड़ा. Where is this? No, it's not there, right? And
Yeah.
maybe it will be there, and maybe it was there a little when they started bottling the league last year, and there are discussions
Hmm.
about maybe he's too young, maybe he's too immature. But look at them, they are bottling the league and they're talking about him being immature. If United bottles the league, Rashford's like fucking photos are getting burned in the streets if we bottle the
I
league from points, you know. So that's the difference. That's how
Hmm.
agendas get created. It's अपने ही लोग कुछ तो गलत बोल देते हैं ट्विटर पे and then it starts circulating, and obviously it has
Yeah.
a limit, but it is considerable, right?
हम्म। मेरे को क्या लगता है ना पर्सनली, this current, like what is happening with Marcus Rashford is what happened, um मतलब what is happening with the affection that क्या बोलते हैं Saka is receiving right now from Arsenal fans could be reminiscent to what kind of affection we were giving Rashford about like 3 to 4 years ago, like under Mourinho and matlab, during the early matlab, during the latter stages of Van Gaal. Maybe he has gotten older. Maybe we have like cuter faces in our team. Garnacho, now Hoyland, maybe those require more affection, probably. Whereas Saka is like a brutally young player who is doing very well in his own right. And maybe that is where matlab, their entire defense towards Saka comes. As soon as Saka is probably 26 or 27 of Rashford's age, and another like Garnacho. They get a Garnacho as like talent from somewhere. Maybe Arsenal fans get protective about that particular talent instead of Saka. This could also happen, right?
Yeah. And obviously वो attention span वाला discussion start हो जाता है कि how long does he get to be this like chocolate boy of Arsenal. He has a timer on his head, right? And Ayan भी अभी बोल रहा था chat में कि Rashford cannot be immature because he's 26. Yeah, and I'm not saying that we criticize him for being immature. The fact is we criticize him on average performances also. There are people in the
Yeah.
fan base that destroy him for like being 6.5 out of 10, and that's okay. You get to be 6.5 every game. Match winners are 8s and 9s and 7s, right? And you'll not be the
Hmm.
match winner every single time.
But the,
If Haaland continues to score like 30 every season, his 30
Mhm.
performances will be rated as 6.5, right? जब वो 50 मारेगा तब उसको 9 9.5 देंगे ना लोग.
but वो winger था Unik last season, so he really did not uh, put in 6.5s out of 10 last season, right? Otherwise, as a winger, how did he score 30 goals and matlab, collated like 11 assists, right? He had that up his locker, right? मतलब क्यों, मतलब उसको लिस्ट में क्यों नहीं लिया?
Like, basically, there is no reason as we like discuss.
Yeah.
It is a blunder. It is a basic, like obvious blunder, and it shows why these lists are as stupid as they are. You know, so it's you can't fathom why Rashford is in the list. Like people will give you a reason. Let's say they'll say X statement for someone being in the list. Then you say that अरे Rashford ने भी तो ये X किया है. नहीं नहीं नहीं. Rashford का reason अलग है. क्यों? If a person, if Kvaratskhelia gets to be here because he is the most impactful winger in Italy, let's say, so who
Mhm.
was the most impactful winger in the Premier League last season? Let's say left
It was
winger in the
Rashford.
Premier League last season. It was Rashford. United was
Yeah.
third in the league because it was Rashford getting those 1-0 wins for us off the bench
Yeah.
when he started. So he is the most impactful winger. He caused the highest amount of impact on his team. Basic definition, right?
Yeah.
बट
Exactly.
फिर ये लोग डेफिनेशन चेंज कर देंगे अरे रैशफोर्ड हैज बीन सिक्स शिट फॉर 6 years अरे हु गिव्स अ शिट दिस इज नॉट अ
Yeah.
लिस्ट फॉर द पास्ट 6 years दिस इज अ लिस्ट फॉर द पास्ट सीजन राइट 6
हाँ.
साल पहले तो सैका तो क्या अभी कहाँ था बीटीएस के गानों पे होगा वो बच्चा था भाई 6 साल पहले क्या तो उसको अभी 6 साल का परफॉर्मेंस में ले फिर काउंट कर उसके अकेडमी गेम्स में तो 50 मार के आया रैशफोर्ड वो तो टॉप पे चाहिए फिर लिस्ट में so
हाँ.
this he has been here for long doesn't mean anything. If it's
Hmm.
about longevity, Ronaldo has to be on this list.
So
Even if
Ankush
he
Bhai has a
doesn't.
very interesting comment. A charity award like Ballon d'Or should recognize a philanthropist like Rashi. Disgrace, in my opinion. Uh, हम लोग यही तो डिस्कस कर रहे हैं अंकुश भाई.
like
आई
like
मीन
अभी अभी इस पॉइंट से मेरे को एक बात सूझी है कि
हम्म,
भगवान करे रैशफोर्ड 50 गोल मार दे, फिर तो इनके पास कुछ भी नहीं रहेगा अगले साल उसको ना बोलने के लिए। आउट ऑफ द
50
पिच ही
गोल
हैज
तो नहीं
बीन।
मारेगा।
नहीं ना, ठीक है ना, अभी क्या अपन एब्सोल्यूट थोड़ी
30 ही
डिस्कस
मैच
करेंगे।
कर दे,
हाँ, ठीक
30 ही
है।
मैच कर दे।
30 मारते हैं और अपन है ना यूरोपा जीतते हैं बस। अपन नीचे
हाँ
आ गए, ग्रुप हो गए अपन, बायर्न म्यूनिक ने अपने को पेल दिया, गैलेटासराय ने पेल दिया, अपन आ गए यूरोपा
हाँ
में, लिवरपूल को पेल दिया फाइनल में, अपन जीत गए यूरोपा। या
हाँ हाँ
तो ये हो गया, रैशफोर्ड 34 गोल्स, अब तो ऑन फील्ड भी मार रहा है, उसके पास यूरोपियन
हाँ
ट्रॉफी भी है, लीग में भी चैलेंज कर दिया, ऑफ द फील्ड भी इतना वो लोग चैरिटी का। अब किस बात पे ना बोलोगे तुम उसको? हाँ, फिलेंथ्रोपिस्ट भी है, परफॉर्मर भी है, प्लेयर भी है, सिंगर, गाना भी निकाल देंगे चलो आपके लिए,
हाँ।
सिंगर भी है, सॉन्ग राइटर भी है, प्रोड्यूसर भी है। अब
व्हाट
क्यों
इफ
अवार्ड नहीं दे?
आर्सेनल, व्हाट इफ आर्सेनल बॉटल्स द लीग अगेन एंड मतलब लोग ना एक चीज बहुत मतलब लाइटली ले रही है, इज दिस लाइक चैंपियंस लीग ग्रुप दैट आर्सेनल इज इन राइट नाउ। I mean, people are not realizing some of the team's potentials there. सेविया के अगेंस्ट यूरोप में मतलब हम लोग से एक्सपीरियंस मतलब they'll all obviously be arrogant enough to state the fact that we are not
बट
Man United, but भाई सेविया के अगेंस्ट बहुत मुश्किल है मतलब निकालना,
इट्स
and they
नॉट
have
गोइंग टू बी।
law as well in their group.
या क्यों? बिकॉज उनके मेंटालिटी पे क्वेश्चन आ गया था ना लास्ट ईयर, डू दे हैव अ विनिंग मेंटालिटी रियली, व्हाई आर दे
हाँ
लाइक
हाँ यार।
सडनली चोक? तो अभी तो यूसीएल है, इट्स देयर फर्स्ट टाइम इन द यूसीएल आफ्टर सच अ लॉन्ग टाइम, एंड judging how Arsenal fans get, when they see an opportunity and when they see something good is going to happen, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them. So I
Hmm.
don't know how they'll do. And like under pressure teams ka fayda uthana is like the staple of Spanish teams. Like they want you to be
Yeah.
under pressure. You go against them and they'll destroy you on that day. So I don't know. Maybe they'll do enough to get second. I think they'll barely get by. Group jeetna. If they win the group, then it's going to be a good like sign for them.
Uh, so Ayan is asking, I agree, Rishiba. I have predicted that Arsenal will finish third. On a scale of 10, what, according to you, are the chances of Arsenal getting grouped? I think there's a 4 or a 5 on 10 chance of Arsenal getting grouped. Oh, there's PSV as well in their group, Evan says. So PSV, Sevilla, Lens, bhai, that's a difficult group on paper, bhai.
Launch is really hard, I think. I think Launch is going to be the underdog in that group because they were second in League One, I think, right? League
ये,
जो भी उसका नाम है,
uh,
I don't know,
let's
presentation.
just लीगा तो भाई नहीं देखता मैं, टू बी ऑनेस्ट।
They were
लीग,
second in League, I think.
हाँ दे
During
वर सेकंड।
yeah,
लास्ट पांच मैच जीते हैं भाई, मतलब
yeah.
लॉन।
So they are like it's going to be hard. Like of course against PSV and Launch, it's going to be hard. I don't know how Sevilla are doing right now because वो लोग भी last है अपने लीग में, सब के सब हार
So
चुके हैं वो
Law
लोग।
just lost the league by 1 point, says Ryan. Bhai,
It's Yeah, they are underdogs in that group, like heavy underdogs. Arsenal didn't lose the league by 1 point, so they are
yeah,
the best
exactly.
performers. Like, based on last season, PSV and Lens should be 1 and 2 in that group.
हाँ,
Like if you
but
मतलब लीग का नाम हटा दो, प्लेयर्स हटा दो, टीम सिर्फ वो रैंक लिस्ट देखो बस लेफ्ट में, किसका रैंक अच्छा था। तो रैंक के पर्सपेक्टिव से तो आर्सेनल आर नॉट द बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग टीम इन दैट ग्रुप, बट ऑफ कोर्स
Sevilla
वी नो।
selling everyone from their squad, says Utkarsh, but Sevilla have that like European pedigree up their armor. वो कैसे भी निकाल लेते हैं भाई performance at the end of the day. So हाँ, तो your point again, like we'll just talk for another like 5 to 10 minutes भाई, मेरे को ऑफिस है कल। तो निकलना पड़ेगा obviously। तो so your situation happens, हम लोग यूरोपा लीग जीत के we get grouped by Bayern and Galatasaray. We compete decently, third or fourth this season. Rashford scores 30 goals, and Arsenal gets grouped, but they finish second again this season. And matlab, does Saka make next year's list? Matlab, he does a very similar season to this year.
I
Matlab
think
last
he-
year.
I think if they don't succeed again this year, people will start to look at them from the lens of like they don't really perform well. like people start to analyze them like एक बार हार गए ठीक है, you know, Arteta has got
Hmm.
this cushion from his fans because as long as the fans are behind him, like media also doesn't really like to go against the big fan group, right?
एक बार वो AFTV अगेंस्ट चले जाए ना आर्टेटा आर्टेटा को,
Then
फिर
it's over.
कोई
Like
नहीं
if
बचा
people start
सकता.
analyzing this, yeah, if people start analyzing them and then they start seeing like
Uh,
Saka has not been performing in big games,
just
he has
need
been
those
get
DT and troops rants मतलब against Arteta, and everything will start falling apart at their club after that.
yeah, but
AFTV.
on that, I think if Rashford scores 30 again this year, then it's a discussion. You know, then people start noticing like Bukayo Saka is not really the best English player, guys. Why is he in here? You know, so
भाई
I
बेस्ट
don't.
इंग्लिश प्लेयर तो रैशफोर्ड भी नहीं है. आई
Yeah, I
थिंक
know, but
मतलब there
yeah,
is
yeah.
no question मतलब the best English player right now,
Don't say
as
Bellingham.
मतलब no, as he has been for the last 8 or 9 years, is Harry Kane. मतलब he has to be the best English
Yeah,
player मतलब in any
I was,
discussion, right? मतलब somebody getting compared to Haaland, who is
yeah, that's
apparently
what
the
I was
best
going to.
मतलब best player in the world apparently. We have to call Harry Kane the best English player. मतलब best young English player I think is Jude Bellingham,
Yeah, he.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I
Hmm.
can accept best young English player. Okay, so that characterization is correct. I don't know if he's the best
Yeah,
young player. Again, if I
under
don't
the
want to go in that
under the
discussion
bracket of
because then
21 years.
yeah, no,
Uh,
Harry Kane has been like he he is the best thing to happen to England in the past decade.
hmm,
I think England
hmm, hmm,
literally had no one left. They were looking for
hmm,
talismans. They were looking for people who can like lift their club up to the next level. And thank God Tottenham got this guy. Gave this guy a chance. Like you have
hmm, hmm,
Pochettino to thank for that. But
hmm,
I don't like how like fast people are to suddenly forget about these people. And I think only this only happens with the Premier League. Like Bahar ka sub is sort of irrelevant for us. You know,
hmm,
Harry Kane leaves the league, it's over. He doesn't matter anymore, right?
hmm, hmm,
Why
hmm.
does Jude Bellingham matter? Because he's the most expensive English player now. That's the only reason people watch him. People look
Also
at
Real
what,
Madrid.
yeah, and also Real Madrid. And
Hmm,
also Bayern is like like we started like no one really watches their games. I don't know why. They are
hmm, hmm, hmm.
like the year they won the Champions League with Robin. I think they were so good. My God, they were like destroying teams that year. The kind of
Hmm.
football they were playing was
Even
so.
Dortmund was amazing that year. The two finalists in the Champions League had brilliant seasons.
Yeah, but again, nobody really knew, right? And after that, you
Hmm,
start seeing, okay, this is why maybe Germany won the World Cup, right? People start discussing, like maybe there are
hmm,
good players, and then you see people start buying people from Dortmund and Frankfurt, and like you see a whole host of like German-bred players come to the Premier League because something as big as winning the Champions League happened. Other than that, I
hmm,
think Premier League fans and teams are not really cared about what happens in other leagues. So
hmm,
now that Harry Kane is not in the Premier League scene anymore, almost like more than half of the people right now have stopped thinking about him, and suddenly Jude Bellingham is the like new Jesus of England.
hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
so I don't think that's right. I know he's good. I can see Jude Bellingham becoming the talisman of the English squad, and yeah,
Hmm,
it's
hmm, hmm.
okay. You can accept that, but you can't say that suddenly he's the best English player right now. He will
And you
be
can't
one.
and you can't sideline Marcus Rashford also, right? A lot of players have a lot of like Arsenal fans have told me that Saka was the best English player at the World Cup. Do you agree to that statement? I don't. I absolutely don't. Just because he
Like there
played a
are.
lot of minutes.
Yeah, I don't think so too because Jamal Musiala has also played for England and he played for Germany. Jamal Musiala is the best English player at the last World Cup. यंग इंग्लिश प्लेयर कोई भी ब्रैकेट में आप जूड बेलिंगम और जमाल मूसियाला को साथ में डालोगे ना आई ऑलवेज चूज जमाल मूसियाला इट मी बेट ऑन स्टैट because
भाई.
you know why because people have this like they
Hmm,
love underdog so much they say like Are Bellingham
hmm.
has come out from Dortmund and Jamal has been around like these Goliaths of Germany and everyone like Bayern was
Chelsea.
absolute absolutely shit last year. Okay, Bayern tried
Uh,
to tried to lose the league and still they couldn't. They
why?
purposely wanted to lose the league last year,
Bayern
but they
under
still
Tuchel is also not very special, to be honest.
yeah. And this young guy like comes in, plays 30 games, scores freaking 23 goals and 10 assists. Like we would have like paraded Garnacho in the whole of England if he does that, right? If this dude comes in and does that. So it doesn't
अबे
matter
यार,
if he's in Bayern Munich. He scored freaking 23 goals, seven less than Harry fucking Kane. Okay, so
भाई वो
he's the
वर्ल्ड कप
goat
में
with
भाई
that.
वर्ल्ड कप में स्पेन के अगेंस्ट वो गोल नहीं मारा, बट ही वाज ब्रूटली अमेजिंग इन दैट गेम. He was dribbling past
And
that Spanish defense like they were not even there.
and you like we were talking about Schneider, right? Rashford becoming the next Schneider. You look at how Musiala plays, and that poor guy is 100% going to be the Schneider if this continues. You know, look at where he is in
Yeah.
this list. Look at how far down he's below like freaking
But the
Lutaro
list is not
Martinez.
really matlab based on ability, I think. वो वैसे
Yeah,
ही उन
yeah.
लोग का.
Anyways, but you see these players getting ignored, right? Someone who
Hmm.
comes in who is as young as Musiala is and scores. He plays. First of all, he manages to play 33 games for Bayern. Freaking
Hmm.
Ryan Gravenberch was fighting for his place, and they choose this guy over him.
Hmm.
So, so you need to understand how good you have to be in those teams to get chosen over players like Ryan Gravenberch, like
Hmm.
Sabitzer and stuff. They had a lot. They have a lot of players sitting on the bench there on
Yeah.
Bayern. Still, they
मुलर
go
को
with
भी कभी
someone.
कभी बैठा दिया था वो.
Yeah, and still they go for someone like Musiala, and he freaking delivers.
Canabry.
Yeah, so I don't understand why there is this ignorance towards players like Musiala because and
Rashford.
that's why I defend him so much, because I feel like he is the real
Hmm.
underdog here. It's not freaking Jude Bellingham. He has the English people behind him. There's no one behind Musiala. Even Bayern people don't recognize him as fast as like others do.
Hmm.
So
I think
so
Musiala.
Jamal Musiala
Uh,
was the best English player at the last World Cup, in my opinion.
like proper English player, the one with the English passport. Who do you think? Saka the best like English player?
So
Uh,
I don't care if they failed, but I think it has to be Harry Kane. Okay, so
yeah,
like
Harry
you don't.
Kane, but followed by Marcus Rashford for like whatever minutes he was there. Marcus Rashford showed a lot of intent and a lot of directness in the World Cup, which like Saka lacked, in my opinion. अबे वो
Everybody
ईरान.
underperformed, right? But
हाँ.
yeah, if you wanna have the discussion about is Saka better than Rashford the last World Cup, I don't
Yeah.
think so because he is basically he's not as you like to take age, right? Those people who like to fight for Saka
Yeah.
like to talk about age. Rashford is
Mhm.
more experienced than him, so obviously I'm going to choose him over Saka in high tension
No, no, no.
situations, and I'm going to choose Kane over both of them in any situation. First of all,
Yeah.
but call it United bias, I'll choose Rashford over Saka. I want him to be there because उसको ऐसे पूछो ना उस
Hmm.
if anyone wants to defend Saka, right? So you
Hmm.
ask him, do you want Saka to take the final penalty or you want Harry Kane to take the final penalty? Or you want
It would be
Rashford? I'm going
Harry
to say,
Kane.
yeah, it would be
It would
first
be
Harry Kane. And
then
then you would,
Rashford, in my opinion.
yeah, and then you would ask for stats, like who's missed more between Rashford and Saka, right? Because you're not sure. And
Yeah.
that's the real thing, right? People are not sure. So
Hmm.
I don't mind you saying that you pick Rashford or someone picks Saka because it's a point of opinion. But the
But
problem
first is
comes
always Harry Kane.
yeah, first has to be Harry Kane. He has
Hmm.
to be the best English player playing for England. And he has to be the
Yeah.
best English player in Germany also right now.
Hmm. Absolutely. Uh, Followed by Jamal Musiala, a close second.
So that poor
But
guy, bro, he's being so ignored. Really sad.
yeah, you guys not including Rice in this conversation, and I think राइस के बारे में बात करने गए तो कल लॉगिन मिस हो जाएगा मेरा सुबह का.
Yeah.
we'll
Talk
talk
about
about
Saka. Okay.
yeah, we'll talk
Okay.
about Rice versus Scott McTominay in the next video. But भाई
No,
डेक्लन
no, no.
राइस को क्या बना
हमरा
दिए
भात आ
भाई.
गया है ना अभी. अभी राइस छोड़ो, अभी हमरा भात आ गया है. अभी भात खाएंगे हम लोग. डेली.
डेक्लन राइस को क्या बना दिए, मतलब वो एक तो गोल के बाद भाई. I think he was bang average in the first like 4 games in that Arsenal played. तो क्या
Yeah,
ही
and
मतलब.
and some people do this thing, right? They post the stats of the players and they are like,
Yeah.
right, Declan Rice versus Manchester United, and there's this stuff like they literally posted 82% pass accuracy. Like it's pathetic. Like someone like Ericsson and Casemiro both above 90%, 95, 98% pass accuracy, and you're posting 88% on the same thread. Like I don't know why someone would. He was average, and the thing is, he scored a goal because there was some shenanigans in front of him, and the ball
Yeah,
hit off of a defender. I don't think the shot was on target. You know, it
yeah,
had
yeah,
going to go
Evans
past.
touched it.
Yeah, वो
It was
फार पोस्ट
swooping
के भी
out.
बाहर था. या
हाँ,
तो
yeah.
पैर लग गया इसलिए और वो भी बचा लिया था ओनाना ने. तू ऐसे सोच,
Uh,
इतना नसीब
uh,
होके भी ऑलमोस्ट बचा लिया था ओनाना ने वो शॉट. तो
best
he's
English
not a goal
midfielder,
scorer
bro.
in my opinion.
120 million, 115, whatever. मतलब exorbitant amount of money to pay for a
See,
midfielder.
we are able to laugh about that game because we played
Uh,
well, because we played our
yeah,
best game and still lost, so there's no shame.
yeah,
Yeah, ठीक है जीत
mm,
गए तुम, and it wasn't like, and that's why I said to
yeah,
you like the score line is a lie. It wasn't a 3-1 game. It was a
yeah,
2-1
yeah.
game, and
Mm,
then the 11 minutes of extra time did what the magic that they always do in these types of games, right? So it
yeah.
wasn't a 3-1 game. It was a 2-1 that you won in extra time. 90 plus 5 था शायद. 90 plus 5 था ना?
अबे
90 plus.
11 हो गया था भाई, वो 90+9 या फिर 8 था, फिर 3 मिनट उन लोग और ऐड करवा दिए. वो
So
राइस का
the game was
सेलिब्रेशन पागल हो
very
गए थे
close,
वो लोग.
and I think we should have won. Like I
Hmm.
think,
Yeah,
still think
I
we
think
should
I
have won.
feel the same.
But
But
now there's ambition. Now we see the game, and now we know we are going to like give a
yeah,
tough fight to Liverpool and Chelsea.
हाँ, ब्राइटन को भी भाई, ब्राइटन को भी नहीं छोड़ना है. ऋषि भाई,
नहीं
उनिक
उसको
भाई, which player do you think should have gotten the Ballon d'Or but it didn't? For me, it's Henry '06. For me, Schneider was like the biggest robbery post the 2010 Champions League triumph for Inter Milan. I think Schneider deserved that the
yeah.
Ballon d'Or
I
that season. Also, he had a magnificent World Cup. 5 गोल मारा था भाई हॉलैंड के लिए उस वर्ल्ड कप में. Schneider, कुत्ता जैसा गोल, like from way outside. And
you
that entire Inter Milan team was based on what we showed at Arsenal, by the way. Close, मतलब ball passing और Schneider टप्पा मार के give it to one of the
and
uh,
you
front men.
put that story in 2023. That team is going to get every single award. Jose Mourinho is getting the manager of the year. You know, you got
Hmm.
Diego Milito fighting for the golden boot. You give him the
Javier
player of.
Zanetti.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, I'd like to say Snyder too, you know, क्योंकि वर्ल्ड कप
Hmm.
में भी बेचारा अनअप्रिशिएटेड था वो.
Hmm.
And they won the fucking treble. I saw the video, freaking treble.
Hmm.
I saw the video like yesterday, I think, and then I
Hmm.
realized भाई वो लोग treble जीते थे वो साल.
हाँ,
And
yeah,
it was
yeah,
Mourinho's second season, I think, and he left after that, right?
yeah. That entire bus
So,
wala video, he's
so
crying
imagine
outside the
Eric
bus.
Ten Hag winning the treble this year.
अबे
It's
यार,
crazy.
मेरे को ना लोग पागल समझेंगे, बट आई रियली डू अस, आई रियली फील वी आर डूइंग वेल दिस, मतलब सीजन, मतलब एटलीस्ट इन द लीग. मेरे को चैंपियंस लीग में उतना कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है. एंड मतलब मैं ना, मतलब शायद ओल्ड स्कूल हूँ दैट वे, कि आई वुड रादर विन द लीग which has been our bread and butter for such a long time in English football, than pushing for a European title which we are not even favorites of winning. मेरे को सीरियसली अब लीग जीतना है. 10-11 साल हो गए. एंड यूनाइटेड हैज नेवर रियली वॉन लीग्स, मतलब 7-8 मैच हार के, मतलब 1-2 मैच हार के, सॉरी. वी हैव ऑलवेज लॉस्ट अ लॉट ऑफ गेम्स बट won the league at the same time, right?
Yeah,
मतलब you take the
that's why we have
2009.
the
but
reputation, right? So we like to
yeah,
steal wins. That's why people look at. That's why we get named the Red Devils, right? You like to steal it from their mouth. You know, they are about to
yeah.
eat it, and you take
you,
it by a
you
point,
look
two
at our
points.
you look at our 2009 campaign, मतलब लिवरपूल उस सीजन 1 मैच हारी थी, they came second. I, I मतलब I
I
genuinely,
I still can't get like away from the fact that Ole finished second, and it always blows my mind, you know. That guy
दो
finished
बार सिटी
second.
को हराया था.
Yeah, and
भाई दो बार सिटी को हराया था सेम
and I
सीजन में.
and then it makes me think that was he really a bad manager? You know, इतनी भंगा
नहीं.
थी है अपनी मैनेज इतनी भंगा रहे
So
अपनी
I'll end
मैनेजमेंट.
the stream by asking this uh, very interesting question. मतलब, is Ole a better manager than Arteta? A lot of fans मतलब ask this question to a lot. मतलब a lot of United fans and Arsenal fans have had a lot of debate around this for a long period of time. Ole never gave matlab City a title race, but matlab considering his conditions, the conditions that matlab he inherited the team in, this entire toxic atmosphere, which is again like somehow sprouted out again in 2023. Matlab, is Oli the better manager than Arteta, or is it the other way around? I think Oli personally severely underrated. I think after Sir Alex Ferguson has left, he has been the second best manager post matlab, after Eric Ten Hag, and I think matlab, there's a strong case to be made for Oli when compared against a manager like Arteta, who has really matlab, taken a lot of time to establish himself as the second best team in England, right? But Oli did
Yeah,
not take a lot of time to do that.
that's what I was going to say. It depends on how you compare the both.
Hmm.
Like if you want to compare them for the same time that they have spent, like let's say who had the best first year,
Hmm.
right? So again, you have a different thing to talk about there.
Great
Let's say
point
who
by
was
Ankush bhai.
no, even Ryan Giggs is unbeaten, right? 4-4,
दो
and he
खेला था
scored
भाई.
himself. He scored
दो खेला था
himself.
ना.
दो
अच्छा.
नहीं, 4 मैच खेला था, चार, और वो खुद जाके
अच्छा.
गोल मारता था. उसको अगर पसंद नहीं
हाँ
आया ना
यार.
गेम, खुद जाके मार
सूट
के आता
खोल
था
के.
वो.
हाँ.
हाँ वही.
Yeah.
तो Carrick are like goats. They sit just below Saf, and then after that, I think it depends on how you compare. You want league position, they are still neck and neck. You want trophies, maybe then Arteta goes a bit ahead because they won the FA Cup. I think the first year he
एक
won his FA Cup
ट्रॉफी
in his first
भाई.
year, right?
एक ट्रॉफी भाई, हम लोग
And
कितना
nobody
फाइनल
was
सेमीफाइनल खेले. ओली के
yeah
साथ
again
कितना फाइनल सेमीफाइनल
अभी
खेले.
ये it's the क्या बोलते हैं रियल मैड्रिड वे ऑफ थिंकिंग, यू नो. डजंट मैटर हाउ मेनी फाइनल्स यू प्ले, तुम नंबर बताओ कितना है बस ये. तो ठीक है, ट्रॉफी गिनोगे तो एक उसकी ज्यादा निकलेगी, बट अगेन इफ यू लुक एट एवरेज लीग पोजीशन, दैट गाय ईट्स आर्टेटा फॉर ब्रेकफास्ट एवरी डे.
Yeah. थर्ड और सेकंड भाई. देन ही गॉट सैक, बट थर्ड और सेकंड तो एटलीस्ट है भाई.
Yeah,
पीएसजी को हराए थे
he did it,
चैंपियंस लीग में.
and he got sacked over a slump, you know. He wasn't really sacked because
हम्म.
like they knew we were going to be shit below him. They were afraid that we would not perform. And that's why he got sacked.
जब से
Maybe because
मतलब
he
वो
didn't
लास्ट
really.
दो मैच में ओली मतलब लॉस्ट हिज कॉन्फिडेंस एंड प्लेड लाइक फाइव डिफेंडर्स ना. मतलब ही लॉस्ट
Yeah, that's
मतलब द
the
फैंस.
maybe his brand of football didn't really resonate with the management, and they were like, "This is not the direction we want to go."
भाई मैनेजमेंट को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. टू बी ऑनेस्ट भाई, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मैन
let's
यूनाइटेड मैनेजमेंट.
let's play the devil's advocate. Let's say for once they were making the right decision, right? उसके बिना एरिक टेन हाग नहीं आता अगर ये दो तीन बीच के सैक नहीं होते तो. So let's for once think that they were actually thinking about what they were doing. Maybe they didn't like this, and I think the culture issue that we talk about, maybe some people in the background realize
Maybe he was
like
too soft with the
yeah,
players. I think,
yeah.
yeah, that could be a
And
thing.
there are some people who are still under SAF and are working at the club, and maybe obviously they'll have to be in good positions right now because you get
Steve
promoted
McLaren है भाई.
like yeah. So these people look at how the club is being run, and maybe they start discussions about these things, and maybe फिर performance भी खराब हो गया तो they were like रुके ही थे वो लोग कि यार ये एक बार बस खराब performance दे दे, इसको अपन बाहर निकाल देंगे.
Hmm, that's so true.
तो So बहुत
तो
सारे factors है, but I think average league position, bro, no way, bro, no way. Mikel
क्या था
Arteta
मतलब
go
आर्सेनल
home.
का. एट्थ टेंथ मतलब टेंथ नहीं आए थे शायद, एट्थ आए थे बहुत बार.
सिक्स आए थे,
एट
सिक्स.
सेवन.
जिस साल सिक्स आए उस साल FA कप जीते ना शायद.
हाँ, मतलब they won the FA Cup against all odds though. Like they won against us against all odds at the Emirates a couple of weeks ago. A week ago. Let's see क्या होता है. Any thoughts about the upcoming game Brighton? क्या expect कर सकते हैं? We'll wrap it up in like 5 to 6 minutes.
So first of all, I want to look at the game and I want
Hmm.
to feel a sense of calm. First thing,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
want to look at the screen and I want to be calm about that performance. I don't
Hmm.
care if it's a nil-nil game. I don't want to sit there with my legs and arms crossed कि भाई नहीं भाई where I'm to slip मत कर भाई लीचा foul मत कर. I don't want to be in this mentality. I want to
Hmm.
be that please score इसके आगे मेरे को जाने नहीं है. I don't want to be under threat. I don't know if that's how Eric Ten Hag likes to play because I've seen Licha talk about the fact that they like to pull defenses towards them so that they can get those passes through. Like I
Hmm.
think Licha's
अभी तो
post-match
और एक
interview very
मस्त पासर अभी तो और एक
yeah
मस्त
so
पासर आ गया भाई Amrabat.
yeah so Ten Hag likes to draw people towards his half of the like we like to draw teams towards us and that's why we are making so many like mistakes. But you look at Onana man, that guy has freaking ice in his veins. He's so good under pressure, so good. Arsenal like to press so hard. They pressed the shit out of Man City in that Community Shield and they got results for it. And we were able to control them so easily. I was so happy after the first half.
I think
But
Arsenal are a great pressing unit though. मतलब their front three
yeah,
is
and
amazing.
that's
Nketiah
partially
वाला.
because yeah, and that's partially because Saliba and Gabriel can play so high. They are so fast,
Hmm.
so they are able to cover well, and they are able to like दोनों ही खेलते हैं पीछे, so they are able to like get
Hmm.
those remaining 8 people on the ball, and they
Hmm.
almost man mark you. They force you to the by your own byline, and they force you to play from the back, and that's where we miss out because Eric Ten Hag doesn't build up with 4 players. He builds up with only 2 players. That's why you see either Ericsson or Casemiro coming back. I think you might have noticed versus Arsenal, with Ericsson played the Casemiro role. Casemiro was in the
Yep.
mount role.
Casemiro was
Casemiro,
coming back and then starting the attack from
but
taking the ball
Ericsson
from
was
Onana.
the like we like to say false nine. So Ericsson was
Eriksen
the
only
false
I
nine.
was saying.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and Casemiro was very advanced. I think Ten Hag realized that Casemiro is not as fast to recover
Hmm.
the ball if he loses it. So he kept Ericsson there. Maybe he was ready to sub him off. So I think the strategy was कि Ericsson को थका दो first half में और उसके जगह
Hmm.
McTominay ले आओ. He'll do the same thing in the second half.
Hmm.
But at least
Hmm.
he wanted. That's why he stresses on the first goal. He wants to get that first goal with his best team. He wants to put a good defense. Like he wants
Hmm.
to put
That's why
reasonable
McTominay
ceiling.
is important in my opinion.
Yeah, and
तो
I think
नॉटिंघम
that's
फॉरेस्ट के अगेंस्ट भी मैच देखेगा टुवर्ड्स द एंड मैकटोमिने मतलब वाज वेरी फिजिकल इन आवर बॉक्स मतलब whilst they were attacking with 10 men he was
yeah,
continuously winning headers and everything so
yeah.
मेरे को बहुत डिफिकल्ट गेम लग रहा है टू बी ऑनेस्ट मतलब लीचा विल प्रोबेबली नॉट प्ले इन माय ओपिनियन ही विल कम फ्रॉम अर्जेंटीना उसका बहुत डिफिकल्ट है मतलब लग रहा है स्टार्ट होना इट्स गोइंग टू
If
बी
he does,
मैगलोफ
I'm scared that he'll get injured because he's already being benched by Argentina because they think there is an issue. So, पता नहीं, and I
अभी
hope Menu
मैगवायर
gets
एंड लिंडेलॉफ
yeah. If Menu gets back, then we are smooth. Then we can like play Casemiro. We can start Casemiro. We can ask him to be like as committed as he wants in the first half because he knows Menu is there to cover him if he gets tired. So we can bring on Menu later. If we know that if Mount I don't think he will be available yet, or will he be?
थोड़ा सा
Not for
टाइम
2 weeks.
लगेगा और yeah
I
मतलब थोड़ा
think
सा और
I
टाइम
think
लगेगा शायद 1 week.
okay.
I think it
No,
won't
but
be
it's
the best
supposed
decision
to.
to also start Mount, to be honest.
No, I think they'll start. We'll start our best 11, and Ten Hag will push for the first goal,
Hmm.
and after that we'll bring on our prospects to maybe save the goal. I think Ireland's gonna score. I want him to start well.
Yeah, भाई FPL में कैप्टन बनाऊंगा मैं इस वीक आयरलैंड को.
Yeah, like people every time the first player they sign is Haaland and उसको captain रख देते हैं फिर बाकी की team. I want that to be Haaland. I want people to sign
Yeah,
him first and
मैं
make
तो
him the captain.
मैं नहीं खिलाता. I don't play City players in my team. Unfortunately, I am मतलब
I
above
don't
that.
play आई डोंट प्ले एफपीएल बिकॉज आई डिडंट नो दैट वो नए प्लेयर साइन करने में पॉइंट कट होते हैं. मैं ऑलरेडी 200 पॉइंट पीछे पड़ चुका हूँ. आई हैव
अच्छा.
क्विट लास्ट वीक. I really didn't
Okay.
know
अरे
you
मेरे
use
को भी
point.
सेम प्रॉब्लम हुआ, बट दक्ष भाई stated the fact that I can make a new account. तो परमिशन ले लो उनसे. But the thing is, let's see यार, मतलब मैं क्या ही बोलूं. What final question? If you were Eric Ten Hag, you're playing the Champions League final. Who are the three midfielders you'll start?
Casemiro, Amrabat, and Bruno. I'll play Amrabat in the Mount role. I think he'll do better than Mount, and I think he'll be like we can dynamically shift to a double pivot if it doesn't work out. I think we can protect the ball if both Casemiro and Amrabat are on the field. I'd like to play those three.
मेरे को थोड़ा controversial opinion है इसको लेके. I would rather have like either Amrabat or Menu with a Bruno or
Okay. Yeah, like
uh,
see, if we
हाँ,
are going to the Champions League final, so obviously Menu has played some games on the way there. And
yeah,
if
yeah,
you say that Menu has been outstanding in all of those games, then
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
I
yeah,
start
yeah.
Menu ahead
I
of
think Menu
Casemiro.
is outstanding though. मैं ज्यादा ओवर हाइप नहीं करना चाहता, बट जो मैंने देखा मेनू का, भाई इज वेरी कूल, वेरी काम एंड
I think he's
ब्रिलियंट.
someone that can handle the hype. You look at his
Yeah.
photos, you look at how he carries himself. He doesn't care about the social aspect of football. He's a very like focused, precise person. So I think he can be good. But why
और अगर और अगर मतलब एंटनी वैंटनी का केस हो गया, देन आई सी माउंट स्टार्टिंग एट द राइट, मतलब
Mount right wing, I don't really know, because yeah, he's been a
अभी और
midfielder
कोई
all his
ऑप्शन नहीं
life.
है, और कोई.
Both his feet. I think Diallo is
सैंचो को.
coming back.
अरे
Diallo,
डियालो भाई, बिल डियालो भी बेटर देन माउंट. आई डोंट मतलब नो.
but he'll be suited. He'll be more suited, I think, to that position. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if Mount is suit. Like, Diallo deserves to be there. Diallo will fight to be there, right? But Mount should only be there because we don't have a right winger. And if we have
एग्जैक्टली माय
Diallo,
पॉइंट.
play Diallo. Maybe
ओ
even
अच्छा,
Pelé.
तो यू पुट पेलेस्ट्री और डियालो अबव माउंट एट द राइट. इंटरेस्टिंग.
Yeah.
मेरे को
Yeah,
थोड़ा
I
सा
put
मतलब
Diallo
डिफिकल्ट लगता
first.
है.
If you remove Anthony from all these like things, then I'll put Diallo as my first choice right winger. Like you have to have a risky young player in the team. Like if Barcelona can go in and put Lamine Yamal there, then I think we can experiment with Diallo, of course. नहीं हुआ तो नहीं हुआ ना,
थोड़ा
है ना
तो
माउंट अप.
ही पड़ेगा, बिकॉज
Yeah,
इस सीजन हम लोग का मतलब इंजरी क्राइसिस लुक्स अ बिट dodgy, right?
yeah, and
Okay,
and this is
guys.
this is the 99 season in the making, right? Academy dependence, new players coming in. दिख रहा है
Yeah.
मेरे को कुछ.
मेनू मेनू सब ह्यूगल व्यूगल सब खेलेगा एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. देखना, विल प्ले रियल मैड्रिड
Jürgen
इंशाल्लाह चैंपियंस लीग में विद ह्यूगल एंड मेनू इन आवर स्टार्टिंग
Captain is
11.
going to throw his TV off the balcony if that happens. If Menu scores the winning header, oh my god.
अबे मेनू हेडर थोड़ी मारेगा, ये बच्चा है एकदम छोटा सा.
Arey, he's a unit, bro.
हम्म. चलो, we'll wrap the
Chalo,
stream up. बहुत जन
good
देखे
morning.
भाई 10. Yeah, good morning to you guys as well. Sayonara. Thanks, Unik. Drop me your मतलब social credentials. I'll add it to the description after I end the stream.
Sure.
Okay. चलो. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.